very warm welcome to round 4 of eRacing GP Global Edition, season number 2. Round 4 of 6 already. Alex Young, it's just flying past, and the races are flying past as well.
Certainly is. We've had 3 races already, and I think, 3 rounds, 4 championships, God knows how many races. And I think pretty much every single one of those races were last lap passes for the lead. So some excellent, exciting racing.
Just to give you a heads up of what you can expect for this weekend, we've got 4 categories of races. We're going to kick off with the qualification for the gold races, and they're going to be moving through to the final tomorrow. But let's just show you the how the guys look. A little look behind the scenes on how the fellas are looking at the race leaders at the moment. Alif Hamilton is the man who is in charge of gold. He is coming up in Group A in a moment. If he can make it to the final, it'll be absolutely expected. But the rest will be hoping that Alif has an off weekend. Mohammed Nabil is leading in the silver class. Haris Zefi from Malaysia leading the bronze class, which takes place tomorrow. Zorio Sumadabila from the Philippines is top of the pile in the copper class. And he will be coming up around about 8 o'clock tonight to see if he can maintain his lead in round 4. But Alex, our focus is going to turn immediately on to the gold class, and for those of you who haven't been watching eRacing GP, where the heck have you been? This is just a little sample of what the final is like. We're going to show you the highlights of last weekend's final, and it was another cracker down to the last lap. eRacing GP Gold Final, round 3 of 6. Andika Rama in the white car is on pole position alongside Alif Hamilton. Andika Rama has got off to a really solid start. He's taken Alif Hamilton along with him. The hills are alive with the sound of eRacing GP in the distance, and Nakib though will lose first place here to Alif. It's the second change of lead already. Nakib is then under pressure from Andika Rama and Josh Perwin and Kalen Chin, and Jacques Iswoyo, you pointed out already, he cannot get close, and he is leading a second train of 4 races. Andika Rama, who led at the start of this lap, is down in P5. Now Kalen Chin goes into the lead for the very first time. Perwin rose through into P2, and that moves Nakib and Alif Hamilton into 3. Nakib may drop actually down below Hamilton into P5.
Perwin, though, he's going to be pushing. This might be an idea to try and pit stop now. If Perwin, he hasn't won a race since the first race of the last Global Edition. He's not going to pit this time. Oh, he thought about it. Oh, too much curb. He's off.
As we were focused on Josh Perwin, Alif has lost a lot of time. 4 seconds he lost.
I saw him move out of the way. Oh, Kalen makes a mistake. Everyone is making mistakes. They're all pushing so hard. But Andika Rama, wow, he's leading now. He's got a small gap. He's got half a second. This is the time where Andika's got to be gone at the next lap because of the DRS. So you might as well pit now. I'm so sure he's going to come to the pit. And I just wonder if all 3 of them might follow him through. Oh, might be smart for Nakib. Yeah, they both go through. Oh, Kalen Chin, he's the one that's not pitted.
Are trying to chase around. This is the battle for P1 as they come round into the home straight. So Nakib in P3. Kalen Chin will be emerging out of the pits at any stage soon. Kalen Chin makes his move. Nakib and Andika Rama, they come around. Andika Rama is leading, and Kalen Chin, this is the entry point. Kalen Chin comes out, and he'll come out in 4th place behind Alif Hamilton.
These 2 guys, they are working together. They're not fighting too hard. They're using the DRS. It's just going to plan. One car will lead 1 lap, and then the car behind will overtake, and then those positions will be reversed. And as long as they do it cleanly, they can use that DRS for both of them collectively to go faster than if they were by themselves.
No, final lap, Alex Young. Final lap. Andika Rama leads. Nakib has the DRS. Now Andika will be defending for all he is worth, but this is a long straight, and this is the moment Nakib has been waiting for.
Yes, he does. He gets a DRS. This might have played perfectly into the Malaysian's hands. He's got the DRS. He has to defend the inside because Andika Rama will definitely be coming back. Now out of turn 2. Andika with a really good exit. He's right in the slipstream. But Nakib has the DRS out of turn 2. He inches away. Look at that. Alif Hamilton's closing on these two at the front as well.
Alif Hamilton, 0.75 seconds, but it's the last lap. Surely not. Round Schleshgold, they've got Roush, Worth Curve, 6, 7 and 8 to go. Nakib is holding on to the lead. What a finale once again. We promise you we'll take you to the very last lap. Behind them, Josh Perwin has got himself up into P4. But let's look at this. Andika Rama. Is this the moment for Andika Rama, Alex Young?
He's had a really good exit out there. Nakib doesn't have DRS anymore. Andika's going to go to the outside. He's got to go to the outside at this point. Oh, he goes around the outside.
On the
contact.
Final 2 corners, Nakib is leading as they come around the final corner onto the final straight. Hamilton is trying to get there, but Nakib wins it. Nakib by 0.15 from Andika Rama from Alif Hamilton. Less than half a second separating 1 from 3. Perwin, Eamon Hazik and Kalen Chin complete the top 6. Tay Moreno Siswoyo complete the top 9. Brilliant dueling, and for once Nakib Aslan got the better of Alif Hamilton, although he didn't score as many points over the weekend as Andika Rama. So despite winning the final last week, Nakib actually drops down to 3rd points. But the good news for those who like competitive racing, Alif Hamilton is under pressure at the top. He's still got a healthy lead, but the fact he was knocked down into 3rd place proves that the fella from Singapore is beatable. So, Alex, we're at the Hungaroring today. It's a more traditional racing circuit. What are you expecting today? We've got 14 racers already just in there practicing at the moment.
Okay, so I'm really looking forward to this track. It's a completely different track to the other tracks. It's tighter, it's twistier. It is a Formula 1 track, so nice and wide, but the overtaking opportunities are not so strong. We've seen just the first 3 rounds all horsepower tracks with the DRS having a big effect. Don't forget these DTM cars have drag reduction systems on the rear wing. So if you're close to a car in front of you, the rear wing tilts back, it sheds downforce, it sheds drag, and allows you to slipstream and overtake. However, this track, the straights are not that long, so we're going to see a more traditional race where drivers have to be a bit more cagey and a bit more opportunistic if they want to overtake.
Alex Young hates the DRS coming in so much. I know that, but it should be good racing anyway. Let's look at the groups, because how the Gold Championship works is we split the guys into 2 groups of racers. The best 12 from each group qualify to the final. So let's just have a look at the starting list for Group A, Alex. And Alif Hamilton versus Mohamed Nakib in the groups. Kalen Chin and Jason Tay. Arwin Tarunya if he gets home in time. Plus Miko Nasi. That, if everyone gets onto the grid, Alex, that is a high quality grid.
Yes, it is. Some really good drivers there. Lots of silvers joining this weekend as well.
So they are the starters. The guys have got just about 5.5 minutes worth of practice time left to go. Kalen Chin is out there. I can see only 14 of the 20 starters, though. These are early Friday night starts. Perhaps a little bit difficult for the Group A guys. Alif Hamilton is out there. Mohamed Nakib is out there. No Miko Nasi is yet, but let's have a little look at Miko Nasi anyway. He has sent us a flying lap of the Hungaroring, and let's just see how technical, as Alex said, it really is.
Have people use that. Alright, welcome to Hungary. The Hungaroring is just outside of Budapest. It was built in 1986. Record time, 8 months, says Wikipedia. Alright, we're on the start-finish straight. Might use DRS here in the race. Look for a braking zone. The white line in the DTM cars is pretty good. And careful getting onto the throttle there. It's very easy to jump on it too quickly and you just create too much wheel spin and lose time. Alright, turn 2, left-hander. Alright, really wants to understeer. You'll notice it starts going downhill as you go into the corner. It's also a popular overtaking spot, but it's very easy to waste time going side by side there with other guys. Another potential DRS spot here, coming up to turn 4, a very fast left-hander. Nigel Mansell had to retire there once when he lost his wheel nut. Alright, coming up to a tricky chicane here. It's also easy to cut the corner a little bit too much and get a track limits penalty. Now we come to 2 sets of left-right corners. It's very easy to be just a little bit offline and then you don't really have grip anymore. Turn 10 now, I believe, followed by turn 11. Jean Lacey had a big crash here once. And another downhill braking zone here. And again, tough. Really wants to understeer there, especially if you brake a little bit too late like I did. Alright, and the second to last corner here. Really tricky exit, especially because of this bump right there. And then the final corner seems to go forever. And that's a lap of the Hungaroring. Thanks for watching.
And during those flying laps from Mikko Nassi, he wasn't out on the track at the start of the pre-recorded flying lap. Delighted to say he is out there at the moment, Alex, getting in there by the skin of his teeth. 15 races out on the circuit.
Yeah, it is kind of tricky. Now the movement control orders are kind of lifted. A lot of these drivers are now back at work, and I can tell you I'm on messaging right now. They're all scampering back from work, trying to get home to the simulators in time to just get into the rigs. Mikko Nassi just gone. I know Arwen Taruna is still not home yet, so he's running out of time to get on the server, but hopefully we'll see him in there soon.
The guys have got 2.5 minutes or so left, and then we've got the qualification period. Just talk as if the guys miss qualification, they can join at the back of the grid?
They can still join as long as they get in before qualification. Once race 1 starts, though, unfortunately it's closed. So I do think we're going to get a couple drivers missing from the field today because of the... and also, I think it's raining in Jakarta, so it's getting a bit tough to get home.
And Jakarta traffic at the best of times is a little bit unhealthy. Kalen Chin is the man who has got the fastest lap time at the moment. A 1:37.194. You were saying off camera before, 1:36 is probably the target for these fellas.
Yes, in the weekly qualifying board, because obviously you qualify for this race by going to the weekly timetable, weekly leaderboard on Race Room. The fastest we saw there was a 36.7. So they're about 4/10 off. So a few drivers here still being a bit cagey, not showing their hand, because I'm sure Alif and someone like Nakeem will be able to get into the 36s. And of course this boy, Kalen Chin, he's going quicker now. He should be in the 36s as well.
He's coming round. He is quickest through sector 2 there, 1:37.194 as we said. Also out on the circuit is Singaporean Jason Tay, who, I tell you what, the quality of the guys at the top of the table is so impressive. And Jason is always chasing that 3rd, 4th, 5th position. He's due a win, isn't he?
Yeah, it'd be really nice to see Jason do a win. Oof, see someone else that spun out of the chicane. He won on Causeway, in the Formula 4 cars. Did a really good job there. And he's been very quick, right, in these DTM cars. Front-running pace, but not quite consistent enough to put it together in qualifying and throughout the whole race to snatch his first win. But you feel he's not far from doing it.
1:37.5 is the time. Alif Hamilton is out on the circuit as well. Again, he'll just leave a little bit of powder dry. He's another who's been racing home after a week of national service in Singapore. Important just to get a little feel of the track, even though they've been out on the circuit quite a lot during the week, Alex.
Yeah, so the guys at the top here, they practice a lot, and even though they have day jobs, they'll spend 4 or 5 hours a day training on this. It's like a proper sport, and that's really nice to see. And that's what I really do like about the esports and e-racing, is if you put in the effort, you put in the time, you tend to get the results.
Ramadan Indro is relatively new. Well, he's been in there for the full season. Hasn't been able to trouble the scorers, as they say, at the very top, and there he just goes off as well. So qualification is underway. And we immediately see, that's not Rama, is it? Or was it Rama? Let's have a look at Kalen Chin. He was quickest, Alex. Miko's taken us through a flying lap, and now you're expecting to really see if the guys are able to post into the 1:36s.
Yeah, Kalen's one of those drivers that was fighting for the win at the last race. Pit stop strategy didn't quite go his way. Here he is going through turn 1. Very quick Australian Singaporean driver. Now down to turn 2. They'll be using the DRS between 1 and 2 to try and overtake. Turn 3, downhill. You can go around the outside of people, so watch for the really aggressive overtaking maneuvers through here. Turn 4 is easy flat, no problem there. Or short straight, again they'll be using DRS if they're close enough. Up to turn 4 here. Quite a fast corner, you carry so much speed through there. And then through turn 5. This corner, again, long. It's about keeping the minimum speeds up. Short straight before the slowest corners on the track. This hairpin. You have to be super aggressive through on the curbs. Have to monster the curbs at the apex and at the exit. You see how the car's jumping as it uses the curbs there. This is left-right section here. This is a part of the track where you need to be in a bit of a rhythm, just getting it right. Coming in, taking those apexes, just nice. Turn 11, carry the speed. You got to be on the power here. And look at that, all the curb use that you can. You really need to do that. This turn 12, very tricky here. Always have a lot of understeer through this corner. Kalen seems to be just about right. Penultimate corner here, turn 13, very long corner. You can sometimes carry a lot of speed and miss the apex, and it doesn't cost you any time. Kalen goes for the late apex, and then the last corner here. Ooh, he goes for a very early turn in there, but he's still at the apex on the throttle early. And this will be good enough for pole, I feel, but will it stay pole? A lot of quick drivers coming. 36.5.
Yeah, he's hit the 136s. That's really impressive. Kalen Chin goes quicker. Mohammed Nakib, I think he is about to start one of his laps. Nakib, of course, got that monkey off his back last week. He beat Alif Hamilton.
Yeah, and here is Alif Hamilton. He's had a miserable second sector. He's half a second down. He will get a chance to do one more lap. But he's P4 at the moment.
A couple of quick hellos to those who are on Facebook. To Gav Quintos, regularly welcome back, Gav. James M. Coe, good to see you. Gav, a big Mark Voltaire Elman fan here. And Akula Iswan, go, 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 he's saying, and I'm agreeing with him completely. Also, welcome to Dawn Jeremiah. Back to the racing circuit itself, though. Kalen Chin is still fastest. Let's go on to Mark Voltaire Elman just for Gav.
There is Mark. He's pushing in the shell-coloured BMW. But if you don't mind, I just want to go back and have a look at Mohammed Nakib. He has not gone purple. I thought he was looking very good through turns 1 and 2. Must have lost a little bit of time through turn 4, turn 3. So he's 1200ths down on going purple at the moment. So at the moment, Kalen Chin is still on for pole position, and he's gone faster in Sector 1. The 13-year-old Australian is really, really going. He's not had pole position so far, but he's on for go. He's gone too far. Will that be a track's limit? That might be a track limit. He might lose the lap. Further back, though, Mohammed Nakib. Oh, he's lost some more time. So Nakib is not going to put it on pole position. What about Alif Hamilton? How's he doing? Oh, okay, Sector 1's not bad. That's within the shouting reach of Kalen Chin. And I'm not sure Kalen will get his whole lap there because he's made a mistake and ran wide. Oh, Alif, 8/10ths down as well. And look, Jason Tay has crept up to 3rd position. This looks like the only car that might be capable of depriving Kalen Chin from pole position, because at the moment, Kalen has pole.
Jason Tay at the moment. Well, he's very close. He's just 1800ths down through Sector 1. It's Kalen Chin and Mohammed Nakib currently on the front row of the grid. He's given it up, Jason Tay. He's still posted a 137. Alif is joining him on the second row. Miko Nassi. We had a flying lap from Miko. How's he racing at the moment?
Oh, he's down. He's 7/10ths down. Wow, Kalen's middle sector was pretty special indeed to do that 36.5. But Miko Nassi's down, but he should be able to improve. He's right now P9. He'll want to try and get to the top 5. Presley Martono is actually in position 5 at the moment, although he's just got dethroned by Alif Hamilton. But look at that. Oh no, Presley up to 4. And let's see where Miko Nassi ends up. He should improve slightly. Oh, ever so slightly. He's still a second off in P7.
Kalen Chin and Mohammed Nakib, front row of the grid. Jason Tay and Presley Martono. Once again impressing Presley. He is a quick racer. He's on the second row. Melvin Moe and Alif Hamilton. Human! Alif is human! That is the big news for Friday night's Global Edition Gold Group A.
Yeah, and don't forget, Mohammed Nakib and Alif are carrying a bit of success ballast, so they are running a bit heavy at this stage, and it obviously benefited people like Jason Tay and of course Kalen Chin. Actually, he did get pole position, I think, in round 1, didn't he too, Des? So this would be his second pole position. Great job by the 13-year-old. Let's see if he can win, though. I mean, he's got some seriously quick drivers right behind him.
eRacing GP Global Edition. It's the Gold Group A qualification at the Hungaroring Grand Prix circuit. There is the circuit. As you say, it's very, very technical. All the races are in the garage at the moment. Oh, sorry, they're now out on the pits. Des Corkill and Alex Young in the commentary box. Welcome for your comments once again. Welcome to Lee Junhui. And when the red lights go off, we will be underway. Kalen Chin on pole position. He is in the grey car on the right-hand side, and he's made a flying start. Mohammed Naqib has been overtaken by Jason Tay, but Kalen Chin could not get off to a better start if he tried. Terrific. Also Miko Nassi in there, and real contact. Tay is forced wide. Kalen is forced out. Alif Hamilton takes the lead.
Oh, Alif Hamilton walking on water again. It doesn't seem to matter what he does. He didn't have the best starts, but someone just came right down the inside and knocked everyone out. And now Alif Hamilton's on the front.
Incredible. Alif always seems to get there. We're at P8 just at the moment. Melvin Moe. And on this tight Hungaroring, overtaking place more at a premium, Alex Young.
Yeah, so I'm not sure who it was that messed up into corner one, but for sure he'll be getting a penalty because it looked very like he just braked way too late. Perhaps one of the new drivers to the Gold class, but at the moment Alif Hamilton, he's doing all he can to try and break DRS. He knows he's got a perfect opportunity because I'm not sure Miko Nassi's got the pace to stay with Alif at this point. I know he's not had a chance to practice as much as he would have liked coming into this weekend. And Alif can break the toe, and with Miko Nassi holding some of the quicker guys behind, then this could be his race to win, which would be quite incredible considering how far back he qualified.
Started in P6 did Alif Hamilton. Let's just go down a little bit further. Mark Velter Elman, he had a bit of a catastrophe. Kalen Chin was leading into the first corner and he was forced sideways. And even if there's disciplinary action against other drivers, that doesn't help Kalen. After a terrific start from him, that's a nightmare way to find yourself down in P11 at the end of the first lap.
Yeah, great shame by Kalen. He'd done such a good job on pole by what was actually quite a large amount. You know, he really was a special lap by the young man. So such a shame to see him all the way down the field. Looking down back at the front though, Alif Hamilton on pole. Sorry, leading the grid. And Miko Nassi there, he's out of DRS zone, so this is a chance for Alif to pull away out of that DRS range.
Eamon Haziq says, messed up start, dead right it was. Let's see though if Mohammed Naqib is able to stop Alif Hamilton pulling away. We're only on lap number 2, but already Alif has got a 1 second lead from Miko Nassi, 3.5 seconds clear of Mohammed Naqib here in P4.
Tell you what, sometimes you can be driving in these sort of championships and just no matter what you do, everything goes right. And that is what's happening with Alif right now. You know, he didn't have a great qualifying. Yes, he's carrying a lot of weight, but I know he won't be very happy with that. Didn't have the best start, but, you know, was super aggressive at turn 1 and just got really lucky with that car coming through and hitting everyone. And wow, he's really pulling away at the moment.
It's 1.3 seconds now. Nassi is trying to get close. Let's just have a look to see how close he really can get. And the answer is nowhere at the moment. Alif Hamilton leading the way. And in isolation, you rarely see that this early in a race, Alex Young.
Yeah, especially with these new DTM cars with the DRS being so strong. But yeah, Alif has pulled out another 2/10 on second position. Look, Mohammed Alif, he's got DRS, but the car in front also has DRS. It makes it very hard to overtake. And this is where the drivers have a challenge. We have been at tracks so far which have been super easy to overtake with a lot of DRS. Now we're at a track that is super hard to overtake, but drivers will have to find a way somehow.
Let's just have a look back at Kalen Chin, who's making a little progress up the field after that great start. He's got himself up into P10, Kalen. That's Rama Danindro and Melvin Moe, who he's got in front of him, but difficult to get around. Yes, he's got the drag. Yes, he's got the DRS, but no way to overtake at that particular juncture. Although maybe he'll have a look on the inside of this corner. No, he's not. Difficult for Kalen. I've got a lot of sympathy for him.
Yeah, such a shame. Gets a bit sideways on the exit there, loses a bit of time. He has to keep calm though. There's still a long way to go, over 15 minutes to go, and if you can just pick up a few positions, you never know what might happen up ahead of you.
Alif Hamilton is still leading. Mikko Nassi has done well to stay within striking distance, though. Nassi has kept it to within a second, so he will have DRS if he can keep that over the start-finish line. Where are we on the circuit? That's the right-hand corner. 10, 11, 12, is it?
Yeah, the last couple of corners now. We're on the penultimate corner. Mikko Nassi, it's a Singaporean 1-2, but he's not done yet. He knows he wants that win, so he's crept up and closed the gap some more. He might be within DRS range as they come across the start-finish line now.
As they go across, it's 0.85 a second that Alif Hamilton leads Nico Nassi. Nassi holding on by his fingernails. And Jason Tay making a Singapore 1-2-3. Mohamed Nakib cannot get past Jason Tay. And Presley Martono was trying to hang in there as well. But those five, Alex Young, are pretty much clear of the rest of the field. There's 3 seconds back to Yevon David.
Yeah, they are Presley Martano right now, one of the real-life drivers we have here, very talented driver. He's watching the battle ahead of him, and this is that battle. Jason Tay and Mohamed Nakib. Nakib's trying to get, he's down, but they both got the DRS, so it makes it so hard to get the overtake done, and Jason Tay hangs on for now.
I can tell you there's a back marker coming into view. Su Tin Su, who's normally a lot quicker, he's having a bit of a disaster. You can see the damage on the car and the handling errors that he's having. And soon Alif Hamilton will be closing up on the back of the Taiwanese.
Yeah, he's really struggling to keep that car in a straight line. So he's going to become a moving chicane for the leaders now. So the leaders will be seeing that car and thinking, oh, I hope I can pick him up during the straight. Because if you can get past him during the straight and not get held up to the tight twisty bits, that would be a huge advantage.
Further down, Kalen, big credit to him. He's got himself up into P8. That's Melvin Moe who's ahead of him. So he's overtaken Ramadan Indro and Dylan Tan. I keep going back to Kalen because he made such a fabulous start and was really good in qualification and was just eased out of the way down to P15 as was then on the first corner. Slowly but surely though, he's made his way up. 13.5 minutes still to race.
So let's see if Melvin will get the DRS. We know Kalen's close enough to get the DRS. Look at the rear wing slanting back. It's getting the move, getting closer and closer to Melvin Moe. Will he have a go into turn 1?
Melvin Moe has got his DRS on and is able to pull away from Kalen Chin. Poor old Yevon David will be feeling the hit pretty soon. There is Yevon David. He's the man in the blue. There's a great race going on behind him. Ramadan Indro and Dylan Tan making this a big battle as Kalen Chin makes a move on the inside. Eases Melvin Moe out of the way. Some excellent driving from young Kalen Chin. Melvin didn't like that. Tries to get back, but Kalen Chin's got himself up into P7. Yevon David is the next.
Yeah, a really good move. He had to go to the grass to make that move work because Moe just moved over to the right trying to defend. He's a little bit too late to defend, and Kalen, that's all he needed to get through.
We're at the Hungaroring. It is eRacing GP, round 4 of 6. Alif Hamilton is leading the way, but has been able to pull away from Mikko Nassi, lapping in the 1:37.6 last time out for Mikko Nassi. For Alif Hamilton, and Mikko Nassi able to go along with that pace.
Yeah, he is. If knowing Alif, he'll be thinking, right, I want to try and overtake Su just after the finish line so that he can get DRS usage for one lap. But let's see if Su will oblige him, because at the moment, Su, why maybe a back marker, he's still doing his own race. Oh, look at that, he gets completely out of the way. So Alif will not get the DRS this lap. But I'll tell you who does have the DRS, and that's Mikko Nassi right behind him.
Mikko Nassi might be able to make a move up as they come into the sharp right-hand corner, number 1. Then the first of a number of short straights. They'll whip around into 2 and 3.
Jason Tay further back though, he's lost the DRS to Mikko Nassi. He's actually dropped back from the front 2 that we're following right now. And look at that, he's got the blue car of Mohamed Nakib all over the back of him. Nakib there with DRS, but still, he has the pace advantage, he has the DRS, but not able to make the overtakes work yet.
These 4 breaking away. It's a high quality 4. Alif, Nassi, Tay, Nakib. You wouldn't be surprised to see them in the top 4 in the final, which will come your way tomorrow. Nakib, who won the final last week, unable to get any closer. And Alif Hamilton Well, he's in a race now, Alif. Having been gifted the lead, he's been able to stay in the lead, but not really develop any serious advantage.
Yeah, so this is going to be quite interesting. If Mikko can just get a bit closer over the next 3 or 4 minutes and try and have a dive down the inside, the question is, how hard will Alif defend? You know, Alif's going for the championship. And first place, great, but second place is also going to be quite good as well. Whereas Mikko, he's dropped out of the championship fight at the moment, and he'll be super aggressive to try and get the win.
Really tough for those racers who weren't able to get into their sims on time. Only 14 starters here today. Su Tin-Chu is still struggling, but he'll just try to maintain. There will be points for every single racer who finishes the day. Nakib is trying to make a move alongside Jason Tay. This is for P4. DRS in place for Nakib, but Jason Tay defends well. Nakib has a look down the inside. Tay defends. Nakib a little bit of a wobble, and he gets the better drive coming up the corner, but not able to capitalize just at the moment. They are wheel to wheel. Nakib and Jason Tay retakes the lead on the inside. Brilliant from the Singaporean.
Wow, that was so close there. Jason Tay did a really good job round the outside of turn 1. He had the contact from Nakib. Could have been very easy to get unsettled, but he just kept nice and cool, had the inside for turn 2, and really made the position his own. Really great defending there by Jason Tay.
It is another moment of frustration though for Mohamed Nakib, the Malaysian, the 19-year-old. He's third in the overall championship standings, fourth in this particular race. Alif Hamilton leads just about everything he goes for. He's in P1 at the moment. Mikko Nassi, the fellow Singaporean, in P2. Have just got to go down a little bit into Yevon David, who's got himself in P7. Ramadanindro behind him, as is Melvin Moe and Dylan Tan. And Bani Ismiaso from Indonesia. Mark Volter Elman is there as well. And Ryan Haryanto a little bit further down. So having given a shout out to those who aren't really going to get involved in the lead, let's go back to the front four, Alex.
Yeah, see, Nakib's getting so desperate. The good thing is Jason Tay shouldn't have the DRS this lap. Nakib can just get the exit he needs. He'll be able to inch up. There he is. The DRS is activated, and he's inching up closer to Jason Tay. But Jason had a really good exit out of the last corner, which is just allowing him to defend into turn 1. He doesn't even have to defend into turn 1. But out of turn 1, Nakib will get the DRS one more time. Yes, not close enough. Jason Tay again with a good exit out of turn 1, and that's not going to happen. Now, out of turn 3 and 4, you can use the DRS one more time, but Jason is now again, he's got a good exit out of 3, and Nakib's just not close enough at the moment.
In the meantime, Alif, we're not really focusing on them because Alif is just holding Mikko Nassi at bay. Or is Mikko not really trying to get close to Alif? Difficult to tell from there, but Alif seems relatively comfortable even with only half a second lead.
Yeah, Mikko's doing all he can. Tyre wear. Have to talk about tyre wear. It is really bad here. Talking to some of the drivers, they're like 20-minute race on one set of tyres is just about possible. But I know they're worried about the final tomorrow, because the final with full damage on means that there'll definitely be a few drivers out there with punches.
Let's have a little look down to Caelan Chin, see what progress the youngster is making. His dad has written in on Facebook and has just said, bummer of a start, but fighting back. That's fair enough. And Caelan Chin has got himself up into P6. It's Presley Martono who is ahead of him. And Caelan, you saw with the onboard camera there, he'll be fighting very hard to get back close, back into the front four. Nakib, tell you what, he's been on the tail of Jason Tay, Alex, now for 3, maybe 4 laps.
Yeah, he has, but Jason's been very clever and smart. He knows he just has to worry about exits, but I tell you what, Nakib's got the run. I'm surprised Jason's not covering the inside. And Nakib is right there. Okay, so they're side by side out of turn 1. Both drivers being very respectful and giving each other a nice amount of space. Nakib inches out in front though. He's got to get it just right here if he wants to be on the inside, but Jason carries just the right amount of speed. Oh, but Nakib's on the inside for turn 3, and he's got the DRS now. But now he's on the outside for turn 4. He's not going to go around the outside of this corner. Jason Tay holds on for another lap.
Deja vu all over again. Really, Alex getting very excited about that little battle.
And look, now Nakib's coming back at him. Now he's on the inside for the chicane. He's got to brake super late to make the position, and he does. Just makes it through. But look at that, he's squirrely at the exit. Jason's going to have a go at him for sure.
Brilliant racing, but Nakib eventually tried again, and now he needs to just try to pull away from Jason Tay if he possibly can. Put his foot to the floor and try to catch up with Mikko Nassi, because that dueling, Alex Young, has cost him dear. They are nearly 3 seconds down on the front two.
Yeah, so, yeah, he's up to 3, but he's lost contact with the leaders, and here they are, Alif in the yellow car with Mikko Nassi in the pink Mercedes right behind him. Mikko, though, he's got the DRS and he's able to hang on, but still not quite able to find a little bit more pace to mount a challenge on the race leader.
Haris Sharmi has just made a comment. He's just picked up there was a bad start for us. We'll show that in the highlights of the final tomorrow. Incredible start. Kalen Chin was dropped from P1 down to 15. He's in P6 at the moment. P5, Presley Martono. I know he's a real racer. He's not completely out of a podium finish here if Nakib and Jason keep on dueling with each other, Alex.
I'm very impressed with Presley. Presley, you know, he's completely new to race room from about, I think, a month ago or 2 months ago. And you could see when he started at the beginning of this second edition, he wasn't quite there. He's like a mid-pack driver. But, you know, he qualified, was it 4th or 5th for this round? Which has showed perfectly how he's had a steady improvement each race. He's getting closer and closer to the front. He's a little bit like Arjun Maini, who unfortunately was unable to join us this weekend. But so this is a real life racer who I think by the time we get to the last round of the season, we'll be mixing it up with the front runners.
Let's go in a little bit further down. There's a great three-way battle. Yevon David, Ramadan Indro, Dylan Tang goes on the inside of Rama. At the chicane, it seems a popular place to overtake. Rama tries to come back straight away on Dylan Tang, but this is a good day for Singapore race at the moment. They're in 1, 2, 4, and Dylan Tan is leading now in this battle for P8.
Battle of the youngsters, really. Kalen Chin, David and Dylan Tan here, they're all under 13 years old. So all 3 of them, you know, the future of karting in the region, future motorsport champions of the future for the region, really. These guys are all professional karters who race all around the world and showing that they can do it on sims as well.
Okay, let's go back onto Kalen Chin. He has made just a slight impact in the lead at the moment from Presley Martono. It was 3.5 seconds. He's got it back now to 2.5, so making up progress. Smiling little figure at the bottom left of his screen. That's just a little bit delayed, but you can see he's got Presley Martono in his sights, and there's still, how long have we got? We've still got 3 minutes to go. Too far behind, Alex?
Yeah, I think Martono's too quick at the moment, though Kalen is making good progress. But yeah, Martono's just a couple tenths slower than Kalen, but not enough. But let's go back to the lead, Des. This is really heating up. Mikko Nassi only 3 tenths off Alif Hamilton.
He certainly is, and he will have the DRS. I tell you what, Alif has not been able to shake off Mikko Nassi.
I tell you what it was. Alif was really pushing in the first couple of laps because he tried to break the DRS. Maybe he's just not 100% comfortable in this race 1. Oh, Nick Nassi, though, did not need to make that mistake. All that pressure he had built up on Alif was perfect. I really thought he was going to have a good fight in this next lap, but that small wiggle by the pink Mercedes has just released some of the pressure on Alif, because I think Alif is struggling with tyre wear now because he pushed so hard in the earlier parts of this race, whereas Mikko was a bit more considered, and now he's paying for that price.
You did mention that tyre wear could well become important. 2 minutes to go. We're on lap 11, just about to come into the end of the lap for lap 12. Muhammad Alif Hamilton, 0.6 of a second clear. Once again, Nassi will have the DRS. There's this lap and 1 more to go, Alex Young.
Yeah, so Mikko's not close enough for this lap, but you've got to feel he's going to have to try everything he can on the last lap. There will be 1 more lap after this. He'll use this as a dress rehearsal. He'll be watching the yellow BMW of Alif Hamilton going, okay, where is his weaknesses? Shall I try down the inside or down to turn 2? He only has 1 more lap to do it, though, and still there's another whole 3/4 of a lap to go, and he has to be perfect with this section so he can be right on the boot lid of Alif going into the last lap.
A little bit further down, Nakib has been able to pull away from Jason Tam but not get close to the front two. It means our attention will be completely devoted over this last lap and a half, Alex, to this battle for P1. 25 points available for the winner of race 1. It's Group A of the Gold Group Global Edition qualifiers. Victory in the first race virtually guarantees you a place in the final. Mikko Nassi would love to get one over Alif.
Yeah, I tell you what though, the signs of cracking from Alif. He was on the grass at the slow chicane, and that's why, look at that, Nassi so close. There's practically no daylight between them. Under 2 tenths, under 3 tenths. So this is the time to do it. If Mikko Nassi is going to take his first win in a long time, he's got to be perfect out this last corner. Alif though has a great exit as well. Oh, that's 3 tenths down. DRS is activated. Alif is defending. He's right on the inside. He's not going to let Mikko Nassi. Mikko Nassi's going to have to work for this if he wants to take the move. Oh, moving in the braking by Alif Hamilton. That was very, very on the limit there, and I'm not sure that the stewards might have to have a look at that, but look at that into turn 2 now. Oh, Mikko Nassi's not quite close enough, Des.
Mikko Nassi is really piling on the pressure on Alif Hamilton. I don't believe you uttered those words, Alif, cracking under pressure. So far he's been able to hold on, but Nassi still has the DRS advantage. Where can he employ it best? Not here into the right-hand corner, but he's just 0.1 second. Has a look on the inside as they come round corner number 5, and then into 6 and 7, approaching the chicane.
Yes, half a lap to go now. This is all the tight and twisty bits for this half a lap though, so Mikko's really lost out here. He doesn't have enough time. These corners, they just run into each other. You're not really capable of overtaking, and Hamilton's been smart. He's just slowing the car down to the apex to make sure he gets the exit. He doesn't mind that Mikko's bumping him just a little bit, because as long as it doesn't affect his exit. 3 more corners to go now, Des.
Right then, it's now or never for Mikko Nassi. Nassi in the pink, Hamilton in the yellow. A Singaporean will win this. That there is no doubt of. Nassi is running out of time. Is he running out of road? He cannot get close enough. Alif Hamilton, what a rearguard action from Alif. We've seen him win races coming from late. This time he has led from the front, and what a magnificent performance from Alif Hamilton. Nassi tried everything he could to get past and couldn't. Nakib 3, Tay 4, Martono under pressure for Kalen Chin for P5, but Martono takes 5, Chin 6, Yevon David in 7. There is Kalen Chin. Well, 6th place in the end. I suppose he'll be relieved with that because he was down in P15. But let's talk about how frustrated Mikko Nassi must be feeling, Alex Young, because he was behind Ali for 6, 7 of those 14 laps.
Yeah, right on the boot lid. Yeah, just not quite quick enough to make it happen. And Alif, very clever, very intelligent in how he used the car. Obviously struggling for a little bit of pace. Don't forget, he has got a lot of penalty weight, success ballast on that car. So you can see he was struggling a little bit. But I tell you what, he was gifted this win really in the first corner of the first lap. Most of the hard work was done then because he was, I think, in position 6 at that point. But the car came clashing down the outside and hit a lot of cars out. Started a chain reaction, shall we say. But Alif, once he had that opportunity, he wasn't going to miss it, was it? He always grabs every opportunity he can with both hands, and that's why he's the race winner.
Jamil Lacuna suggests that the moving from Alif Hamilton going into the final lap was moving under braking. Great boxing on the track, says James M. Coe, all on Facebook. Keep those comments coming. We do like to know that you're watching, and I know the racers watch them as well. But will the stewards be asked to look at that Alif Hamilton defensive manoeuvre on the last lap, Alex?
Yeah, so I think normally yes, but we'll soon find out. We need someone to protest that. Maybe Mikko Nassi might, because yes, it's definitely having a worth look at, another look at for sure. Just so you guys know, the rule is basically you're allowed 1 change of direction. But let's go through the results first.
Alif Hamilton picks up the win, but Nassi picks up 2nd and the fastest lap. Really impressive from Nassi, but again, you've got to be more than impressive to beat Alif Hamilton. Nakib and Jason Tay 3 and 4, Martono and Kalen Chin. Yevon David, who I didn't really mention much, from Sri Lanka, a little bit further down. Now we move instantly onto the reverse grid race. It's race number 2. Less points available for these, but it means that those who had a nightmare in race number 1, the likes of Melvin Moe, who was kicked out, they get a chance to start from the very front row.
Yeah, so you can have a bad race. Use race 2 to try and recover. So Kalen Chin will try and recover. But I tell you what, we've had reverse races where the guys start, fast guys at the front now start at the back, and the guys start at the back start at the front. But we've never had to do a reverse race on this hard a track to overtake on.
Yeah, this is real racing, as you like to call it. All set. Drivers on the grid. The red lights are on. When they go off, we will be underway. Melvin Moe and Sutin Shin are on the front row of the grid. Melvin Moe in the white Mercedes looks to get off to a solid start, and he has got off to a solid start. In fact, everybody has. Mark Voltaire Elman in P3 at the moment. Those are the 3 who really want to make up for a disastrous race number 1. There was carnage on the front corner. Elman is taken out. Ryan Haryanto has gone through, and Melvin Moe is left all on his own out of the front. What is it with this corner 1, Alex Young?
Wow, you know, this whole first 3 rounds of the second edition, these gold class drivers have been immaculate through turns 1 and 2, but now I've had 2 races in a row where someone's just completely outbraked himself. And I don't know who that was at turn 1, but he went massive, way too late. Who is that? That's Ryan Haryanto? No, that's not Ryan Haryanto.
Yeah, that's Ryan Haryanto, and he was the guilty party. I've got to say, from my neutral eyes, he took out just about everybody. It was like watching Skittles going down at the end of a bowling ring. And what it means is that the likes of Jason Toe and Miko Nasi are right down in P10 and 11 and battling hard.
Yeah, well, Ryan Haryanto, a race car driver in his own right, more well known for being the brother of Rio Haryanto, Indonesia's first and only Formula 1 driver. He's new to race room, perhaps just been a little bit too opportunistic, and that's his race run.
Ping Pong Gaming says Voltaire Seiko. I think he's dead right on that one. We'll move away from Ryan Haryanto. Mark Voltaire Elma's the man who suffered most in that, because it made a decent start, was in P3, and he was just taken out like a wave crashing down upon him. He's down now in P12. I tell you who's benefited though. Kalen Chin got himself up into P3. Let's go on board with Kalen Chin. That is him just getting very close to Sutin Shin.
Wow.
And actually going into P2.
Up to P2, and that's great. The delay is only about a couple seconds between the screen on the right and the screen on the left. And look at Kalen Chin, so cool and calm. He's got to be eyeing the race win now.
Mohammed Nakib has got himself up into P4. He's got Sue and Kalen and Melvin Moe ahead of him. Let's have a look at Melvin Moe, because he did benefit big time. And having missed out on race number 1, this is a chance maybe for Melvin to pick up his first, I was going to say 25, first 12 points of the season.
Yeah, so in the race 1, the top 15 gets points, and the winner gets 25 points. I think second is 22, and so on forth. In race 2, only the top 10 get points, and it's 15 points for a win, 12 points for a second, and so forth. And of course, you do get 2 points for pole position, and of course, fastest lap. So there is a lot to play for still in race 2.
Harry Shami says, seriously? Not again? Yes, it was. I love it. I love this contact. Alex is a purist. He is a less enjoyable on that. Another deja vu, says Harris. Yes. Right, Kalen Chin in P2. And he's closing in already, less than a second behind Melvin Moe. So, if he's not wiped out, Kalen, who was super quick in qualifying, Alex, may well be trying to pick up a consolation win in race 2.
Yeah. We saw him overtake Melvin in race 1, but it was a battle for the lower positions in the top 10. So, but now it's a battle for the win. I know Melvin Moe, one of the real life drivers. He's not going to let this go easy. He's going to defend super aggressive, very aggressive driver. It's going to be very tough for Kalen to get through.
Further down, Alif Hamilton inevitably has got himself through all the mayhem, through all the traffic. There he is in P5. He's on the tail of Mohammed Nakib. And Dylan Tan is in that little... Sutin Shin is in that group. Dylan Tan is just behind them. Dylan in P6. Another of the youngsters up the front. Kalen has closed right in on the tail of Melvin Moe. And Kalen Chin might make a move around the outside. He is quick on the Hungaroring. This time Melvin's able to defend, but you do feel it's purely a matter of time. The double maneuver from Kalen. There is contact at the chicane. Melvin again just sneaks clear, but but he's under the most intense pressure from Kalen Chin.
Very hard racing going on, just what we'd like to see, but fair, completely fair. Drivers just giving each other enough room. Not a millimeter more, but enough room. And look at that, Kalen's, whoa, he's getting a good exit out of that corner. He's going to look down the inside for the next one. Melvin knows this and covers it. This is the third but last corner. Melvin's going to go, he does a good job of keeping the car under him. Now into the penultimate corner. Oh, Kalen decides not to go for it in the penultimate corner. Will he have a look into the last corner? You can sometimes mug drivers into the last corner when they're not expecting it. Kalen decides not to at the moment. He's going to try and leave it for the DRS zones, and he's going to get one DRS zone now across the start-finish straight.
Good racing from Kalen Chin. This is the opportunity down the start-finish straight. Defensive manoeuvre comes in from Melvin Moe, but Kalen serenely glides past him, or does he? Coming into that first right-hand corner, the good news for Kalen is the next big corner is a left-hander, but he's struggling wheel to wheel, side by side, and eventually Kalen Chin's manoeuvre pays off going into corner number 2, and for the first time in this race, Kalen Chin has the lead.
Wow, so that was really hard racing. Melvin being a little bit naughty, looked like he was leaning on Kalen out of turn 1, left him just enough room, and Kalen was able to get through by himself. Wow, really great racing. Further back, Nakib and Alif have gone by Sue as well, so they're up to 3rd and 4th. So they may be joining this battle for the lead very soon.
Certainly would. You wouldn't put it behind them. With 14 minutes, of course, still to go. They've got to get past Melvin Moe first, and we saw that he's determined. He'd love to hold on Melvin Moe to at least pick up a podium. Further down, Mikko Nassi, Alex, is struggling. He's down here in P12. A long way down, in fact. He must have had some kind of a problem, Mikko Nassi.
Yeah, look at that car. It's damaged. He's had some damage to that car. He's just trying to drive around. Yeah, disaster. I mean, we'll still see him in the final tomorrow because of his second position in race 1. But I wonder if he's one of the cars that got caught up in that lap 1 melee. Must have been, because he just has got no pace in this race too.
Mark Voltaire Elman definitely was caught up. His is bashed and bruised as well, but Kalen Chin is still leading the way, and Kalen has got himself a healthy lead. Alif and Nakib on the tail of Melvin Moe. There is still, though, plenty of time, so Kalen better hadn't get too confident that he's got this one wrapped up.
And okay, we've got some interesting dynamics here. Alif, who we're riding in on the yellow BMW, he belongs to a team called Legion of Racers, one of the top sim racing teams in the region. And that team boss for that team, that's Melvin Moe in position 2. So Melvin, I got a feeling, is going to make it very tough for Nakib to get through. He'll have to be fair though, otherwise he risks a penalty. But he'll enjoy, I think, well, not enjoy, shall we say. He's racing, but he knows his teammates just 2 cars back.
So Alif Hamilton is in P4. Let's have a look at the tail of Alif Hamilton. Melvin, and the sandwich in between is poor old Nakib, who Alex raced with in the Le Mans 24 hours last weekend. So he's hopefully recovered. Hopefully you've recovered as well, Alex.
Well, I haven't, but for sure, I think these youngsters, it doesn't take them that much out of them. They seem to be perfectly fine. And look at that, Nakib's all over the back of Melvin. Just one more sector to go of this lap before they get to the DRS range. What can Melvin do at this point? Melvin was looking at the backside of Kalen Chin just a lap ago, and now he's got to look about defending again. He must be wondering and thinking, oh, can I defend? What do I have to do? Can I improve my exit out of the last corner to try and get to be able to resist the charges of Mohamed Nakib?
Into the start-finish straight, Kalen Chin leads the way. Now then, Nakib, he is close enough on Melvin Moe. He will have the opportunity to utilise the DRS. They come down this little hill at the end of the long straight into corner number 1. Nakib had a look on the inside. The door was closed, though, by Melvin Moe. He is, quite rightly, as you say, Alex, being very, very defensive of his position in P2.
Yeah, so you can mug people into turn 2 as well. I had a thought for a second that Nakib was looking at it. But yeah, he's going to be getting impatient trying to get past, because look, Alif's just behind. Alif's just sitting there. He's just watching these two. You know, just he knows if he bides his time, Nakib could easily make a mistake trying to overtake and get that second position, and that's it. Alif will be through in a flash.
Kalen Chin is the man who is still leading the way right behind them. Nakib, he made a move there, and that is Melvin Moe pushed off the track and down into P5. Kalen Chin is there. Mohammed Nakib and Alif Hamilton both going through.
Such a shame. I think that was Alif that tagged Melvin into that spin. Such a shame. Maybe Alif got unsighted by the two cars fighting in front. But yeah, he'll be upset about that. You know, he doesn't want to push his teammate off. Melvin now position 8. All that hard work undone.
It certainly is. And Kalen has got himself a 2-second lead. Midway through race number 2, there is still a long way to go. But if he can put in a fabulous lap here, you never know, Alex. He might be able to pull away from the dynamic duo of Nakib and Alif Hamilton.
Yeah, but you know, and I think Kalen can do it. Actually, he was so quick in qualifying. He had something over everyone through that middle sector. He had such a nice middle sector. If he can replicate that form he did in qualifying, and not be disturbed by what happened in race 1, I think he'll be able to hold out to the end.
Well, let's see if he can. A little bit further down, let's see what Dylan Tan has got on Presley Martono. That is the youngster Dylan Tan. Tries to weave his way through on the inside. Presley defends but can't hold off, and that is good aggression from another terrific young Singaporean.
Yeah, really good job by Dylan Tan. One of the other youngsters that we're talking about. Oh, look at that Martano coming back at him. Oh, there's contact. A little bit too aggressive there. But Presley's, yeah, he's not happy there. That's way too much contact. At this point, I wonder if there was contact in the lap before. Yeah, Presley's super aggressive down the inside. But look at that. Dylan's come back and has gone back through. And look, there's another. Now there's a shell car on the inside. Who is that? That is Ismaso.
Jason Tay. Jason Tay's there as well.
Jason Tay. So Presley there, getting a little bit flustered there, driving a little bit erratically, having contact with cars at the front of him and cars behind him.
He looked like he wanted an absolute punch up in the middle of that battle. Poor old little Dylan Tan will have said, "What did I do, Mr. Presley?" I tell you what, he took the lead and then Presley makes a mistake. Jason Tay tries to go through, or did Presley just leave the braking a little bit later?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. They just lost a lot of time coming out the corner. Look at Presley, super aggressive with the speed he carries into the corner. That must be quite hard on the tyre wear. But yeah, super aggressive at the moment. He's in P6, but you just got a feeling this battle for P4 is not over by a long way.
It certainly isn't. Up at the front, Kalen Chin. Ooh, he's not been able to capitalise. And Nakib and Alif Hamilton, the dynamic duo, are right there. That is looking back from Kalen Chin on the left of your screen. On the right is him looking forward. And he'll try not to look too far behind him, Alex Young, because that is a terrifying sight. Not only Nakib, but Alif Hamilton as well.
Yeah, he's talking to people. Maybe he's got some teammates out there, so he's talking to them on Discord, smiling, babyface assassin. I wonder if his dad's there talking to him. Somehow I doubt it. I got a feeling his dad would just, he'd be quite irritated to have his dad there. But he's doing a good job at the moment. I'll tell you what we're seeing, Des, from this track so far, is we're seeing high pressure driving here. Because the chances of overtaking is so slim, you've seen a lot of desperate maneuvers so far as drivers try and make their way through. So the importance of not making a mistake, because if you make a mistake, you could lose that position and you won't get it back. So that means the pressure is sky high.
The DTMs are performing pretty well here, but as you say, tyre wear comes in around about 4 or 5 minutes time. Let's just see the progress of Miko Nasi as he marches past Bani Ismail, so right on cue. Miko's got himself up into P9, so at least there'll be some points, unless Bani Misiaso says, no, that's not fair. Miko Nasi decides that he is going to go through into P9. Ramadan Indro is there, and poor old Bani lost 2 places because Ramra's taken advantage of his distraction with Miko Nasi.
Yeah, Miko Nasi there, unflappable there. He's done a good job to get out P9. Look at that! Nakib going around the outside of Kalen Chin. There's contact! Whoa! Alice is watching this. Could there be another opportunity here for the championship leader to steal another win?
Of course, Alif is just waiting and lurking. He is the arch predator, but he won from the front on the last race. Here he is now in P3, just waiting to see if Nakib can put off Kalen Chin. Those three battling. There's still 6 minutes to go. And in this scenario, Alex Young, being in third place is just about the perfect position. It's like being on the shoulder of the runner in a 1500 meter race.
It is. It's got nothing to lose at this point. You can just watch it all unfold in front of you. But having said that, I'd still prefer to be in first position because that's easier to defend around a track like this than it is to attack.
Leif Hamilton. Well, they're all within 1 second, the front three, and Caelan Chin will slowly but surely feel the vice-like pressure get more and more and more intense.
Yeah, I just had a good message on social media that Caelan Chin is having accelerator problems. I know some of the drivers have been struggling with the hardware a bit, and I wonder if Caelan's struggling again. But look at that, Nakib's so close now. Look, he's weaving to get out of the way. They're right on the inside. Alif's just watching them out of the corner of his eye as the sun is in their background. And Nakib goes around the outside. They're both braking super late. Who can get the exit out of turn one? The small wiggles on there by both of them. Caelan covers the inside. Nakib, will he go to the outside? No, he doesn't want to go to the outside. You know why? Because Alif Hamilton's right there, and he knows any small mistake will put Alif through.
3 abreast they were going into that corner. Caelan Chin hangs on by the skin of his teeth. Alif makes a move on Nakib. Nakib accelerates into the corner. Alif goes the other side. Nakib blocks him off. Alif comes in for a third. It's like a boxing match. Left, right, left, and Alif goes through, and the knockout punch takes him into P2.
Wow, what a great bit of racing. We're just talking about how Nakib was trying to overtake. He's trying to come back at Hamilton around the outside of that corner. Not able to do it. Wow. It's back and forth between these two. These guys finished first and second in the first global edition. So they know that they're the form drivers to beat at the moment, and any sort of advantage that they can get over each other, they're going to try and do.
Apologies for those a little bit further down this race, but this is another battle royale for P1 and Caelan Chin. While those two are scrapping literally and metaphorically, he's got himself over a second lead with 3.5 minutes to go. Alex, you did call this at the 10-minute mark that Caelan's good enough. Is that an important part of the race?
Yeah, it could be a key part because the drivers were so close. Now we've got Nakib there on Alif. He's got the DRS, but oh my gosh, Hamilton brakes so late for turn one, but still able to make the apex. Well done there, defending really well without having to cover the inside. And he's got the gap now to turn two, so they are going to hold station for another lap. But back to Caelan Chin, can he hold off to the end? It's a tough one, Des, because it sounds like he's got some hardware issues. It's obviously affecting his pace at the moment. But, yes, if everything's perfectly normal, I would say Caelan could hold on to the win.
1:37.6, his best lap. His last lap was invalid. As we're on board with him, he's looking back towards Alif Hamilton. That won't cheer him up very much, but the lead, it's back inside half a second. And with 2:40 to go, we've got one full lap after this. Will there be enough time for another lap after that? 2 definitely, maybe 3 laps to go. Caelan leading, but for how long?
It is getting close. Well, okay, so we got a little bit of a pause before it all heats up again when they go across the start-finish line. But I tell you who also has impressed me, Des, is Xin Su. Su from Chinese Taipei has done a really good job in position 4 to hold on to that position. Struggled in race 1, obviously. And got just behind him Jason Tay and Presley Martona and Dylan Tan still fighting it out for position 5.
Martona is close there on the back of Jason Tay. That's before Nakib is trying to make a move here on Alif. They come down the start-finish straight. 1:53. There will be 2 more laps probably, Alex Young, because they have crossed the line. So it'll be really 2 more laps. I think that's we've got.
Whoa, Nakib goes around the outside. What a great move. I did not expect that. I didn't think he was far enough in front, but he just nailed that to perfection. It was super late on the brakes. I thought, right, he's going to run wide at this point, but somehow able to make it round. That was a pretty special move.
But do you think he's calculated there on the last lap and he's trying to get in front? If so, it might be a miscalculation. Very tight.
Wow, he'll take the move this time. position is so important at this track. It's very different from the first 3 rounds we've had so far. In the first 3 rounds, it was better to be second as you went to the last lap, but now it's better to be in front for sure.
Alif Hamilton is the man in P3. Kalen Chin is the man who is defending for his young life. Mohamed Nakib, a veritable veteran at 19, is the man in P2. Alif Hamilton still holds on in P3, just waiting for the mistakes that he's sure will come. I'm pretty sure there'll be one more lap after this, Alex Young.
Yes, I think so too. But Nakib, he's got to do it now. He's got a small gap to Alif, so he's going to be big pressure to try and get a good exit out of the last corner, because he wants to try and get the move done for turn 1. Because if he's having to scrap through turns 2 like he was a few laps ago, you know Alif will be there to take advantage of it. Oh, Nakib has a small wiggle out of the last corner, but the leader, Kalen Chin, he does not have DRS, whereas Nakib does. He goes to the outside. Will he try the same move he did before on Alif Hamilton? They're both braking super late. Oh, sideways round the turn 1. Oh, DRS is back on, Des.
Kalen Chin defends once again. Nakib will strike once again. Can't get around this. This is corner number 2. Then to number 3. Nakib needs to make his move now, Alex Young.
Yeah, out of turn 2. Nah, Nakib's not close enough. He's not even using DRS anymore. He's just going to consolidate P2. It would have been too high a risk to try and take that move on Kalen Chin, especially with Hamilton right behind him. Nakib is fighting for the championship at this point, and he just wants to make sure that he tries to take points off the championship leader, Alif, in the yellow BMW.
Alif Hamilton, I tell you, don't write him off through these chicanes, 6 and 7. Alif maybe, because he's got such a big championship lead, he might put it on, but he's not a gambler, Alex. No. Kalen Chin, tell you what, he's taken the lead early on, and he's resisted pressure from the dynamic duo, Nakib and Alif Hamilton. Can he resist right to the end?
These guys have given us such great racing these few months, and I tell you what, you know you're not right. This might not be over. Oof, I thought he was going to just send it down the inside, but Kalen covered the inside a bit. Oh, there's contact between the leaders again. One more corner to go, Des.
Final corner, Kalen Chin. Is he able to hold on? Nakib will try to accelerate out. Kalen Chin will get a fantastic victory. Real morale booster, held off Nakib. Congratulations to him, and look at the relief on his face. It's wonderful, because Nakib and Alif, they do not allow you any moment of respite. Into 4th place is Jason Tay. 5th, Presley Martono. Poor old Melvin Moe has to be settled with 6. Miko Nasi get himself up into P8, at least in the points, and Sutin Chin dropped right the way down into P9. But let's go back on Kalen Chin. Fabulous victory for the 15 points for the young Aussie.
Yeah, what a great result. Very, very pleased for the Australian. He has won in the ERGP before, but he's not won in front of the championship leader and P3 in the championship. So Kalen Chin, I think he's 5th in the championship, so he's made a good step forward today.
Jamil Lacuna offers his best for Kalen Chin. Amazing, he says, and Chris Coe says great driving, well deserved, Kalen. Alif Hamilton, of course, will pick up 10 points for 3rd place, plus 2 points for the fastest lap. Nakib will pick up 12 points, but Kalen Chin picks up the victory, guarantees himself a place in tomorrow's final, and holds off to big names in the gold class. Brilliant. Really, really good stuff.
Wow. It's so much fun doing this championship, I tell you. I mean, we always have such exciting racing. It's a great way to spend a Friday night. And we're not done yet. We've got one more group to go.
And copper class as well.
Yeah.
Right, let's immediately turn our attention to the other group, because there's 20 drivers have been invited. It's starting pretty soon. So let's very quickly, have we got enough time for the highlights of the previous round, Alex, or would you rather give us a flying lap?
I think we'll do the highlights from the previous round one more time, just to remind people what happened in the gold class in round 3.
Okay, take it away. eRacing GP Gold Final, round 3 of 6. Andy Karama in the white car is on pole position alongside Alif Hamilton. Andy Karama has got off to a really solid start. He's taken Alif Hamilton along with him. The hills are alive with the sound of eRacing GP in the distance. And Nakib, though, will lose first place here to Alif. It's the second change of lead already. Nakib is then under pressure from Andy Karama and Josh Perwin and Kalen Chin and Jacques Royo. You pointed out already, he cannot get close, and he is leading a second train of four races. Andy Karama, who led at the start of this lap, is down in P5. Now Kalen Chin goes into the lead for the very first time. Perwin moves through into P2, and that moves Nakib and Alif Hamilton into 3. Nakib may drop actually down below Hamilton into P5.
Perwin, though, he's going to be pushing. This might be an idea to try and pit stop now. If Perwin, you know, he hasn't won a race since the first race of the last Global Edition. He's not going to pit this time. Oh, he thought about it. Oh, too much curb. He's off.
As we were focused on Josh Perwin,
yeah.
Alif has lost a lot of time. 4 seconds he lost.
I saw him move out of the way. Oh, Kalen makes a mistake. Everyone is making a mistake. They're all pushing so hard. But Andika Rama, wow, he's leading now. He's got a small gap. He's got half a second. This is the time where Andika's got to pit. This half a second will be gone at the next lap because of the DRS, so you might as well pit now. I'm so sure he's going to come to the pit. And I just wonder if all 3 of them might follow him through. Might be smart for Nakib. Yeah, they both go through. Oh, Kalen Chin, he's the one that's not pitted.
Are trying to chase around. This is the battle for P1 as they come round into the home straight. So Nakib in P3. Kalen Chin will be emerging out of the pits at any stage soon. Kalen Chin makes his move. Nakib and Andy Karama, they come around. Andy Karama is leading and Kalen Chin. This is the entry point. Kalen Chin comes out and he'll come out in 4th place behind Alif Hamilton.
These two guys, they are working together. They're not fighting too hard. They're using the DRS. It's just going to plan. One car will lead one lap, and then the car behind will overtake, and then those positions will be reversed. And as long as they do it cleanly, they can use that DRS for both of them collectively to go faster than if they were by themselves.
No, final lap, Alex Young. Final lap. Andy Karama leads. Nakib has the DRS. Now Andika will be defending for all he is worth, but this is a long straight, and this is the moment Nakib has been waiting for.
Yes, he does. He gets a DRS. This might have played perfectly into the Malaysian's hands. He's got the DRS. He has to defend the inside because Andika Rama will definitely be coming back. Now out of turn 2, Andika with a really good exit. He's right in the slipstream, but Nakib has the DRS out of turn 2. He inches away. Look at that. Alif Hamilton's closing on these 2 at the front as well.
Alif Hamilton, 0.75 seconds, but it's the last lap. Surely not. Round Schleshgold, they've got Roush, Worth Curve, 6, 7 and 8 to go. Nakib is holding on to the lead. What a finale once again. We promise you we'll take you to the very last lap. Behind them, Josh Perwin has got himself up into P4. But let's look at this. Andika Rama. Is this the moment for Andika Rama, Alex Young?
He's had a really good exit out there. Nakib doesn't have DRS anymore. Andika's going to go to the outside. He's got to go to the outside at this point. Oh, he goes around the outside.
On the
contact.
Final 2 corners, Nakib is leading as they come around the final corner onto the final straight. Hamilton is trying to get there, but Nakib wins it. Nakib by 0.15 from Andy Karama from Alif Hamilton. Less than half a second separating 1 from 3. Perwin, Ayman Hazik and Kalen Chin. Brilliant weekend for Andika Rama, second in that particular race, and he moves up to 2nd place in the overall standings, slightly cutting the lead of Alif Hamilton, the defending champion from season number 1. I tell you what, with Josh Perwin also picking up good points there. There are 4 genuine contenders, and Kalen Chin, I can tell you, has improved his score of 102 to 127 of a victory in race number 1. Jacques Royal will need a good race here in race number 1. So let's look at the competitors who'll be racing in the Global Edition Group B. as we are on board with Andika Rama. He is the quickest, and he is probably the star name of the Group B competitors, Alex Young.
Yeah, so we'll have a look at those graphics now, and that you see Andika Rama in the white Mercedes. And then a little bit further back, Josh Perwin, the pink Mercedes is very popular. Also Ayman Hakim in a pink Mercedes. Jaka Susoyo and Ayman Hazik in a similarly liveried grey Mercedes. A lot of Mercedes in these groups. And you see further down some of the newer drivers that haven't competed in group class so far. Ruben Wong, Khalif, Shazlizan as well. So quite a few silver drivers joining us this weekend in Group B.
Okay, we're joining practice with just a few seconds left. We'll stay with Andika Rama, but the likes of Ruben Wong, as you say, one of those silver drivers. The standard for the silver boys is obviously the best gold boys, as Ruben gets it completely wrong as we go to him. What is the difference between the top boys and the group just down behind them, Alex?
Well, you see with a lot of the gold drivers, you know, they're always there. Different conditions, different cars are there, different platforms even. So a lot of the silver drivers, you know, a lot of them are quite new to the sport. They haven't been doing it so long. Some of them are actually very experienced racers in their own right, but they're new to sim racing. So they tend to be a few more mistakes. And some of them, it's just the pace is not quite good enough. So it's good to try and separate them. But you see it quite often in the Go class. You don't see any mistakes normally. As we get to qualifying. But I tell you what, Des, qualifying is quite interesting. Both Ayman Hakim and Andika Rama just did a 56, I think, or 36.7 or something. So they are looking very quick indeed.
Qualification is underway. eRacing GP Gold Class. It's the Group B. 2 races coming your way. A 20-minute race based upon the grid positions in this qualification, followed by a reverse grid race depending on the results. We've got 17 out on the grid. Who do you think is worth staying with, Alex? Should we stay with Ayman Hakim?
I think we should stay with Ayman. He did a 36.7 just now. It's only 2/10 off pole position, Kalen Chin in Group A. We come to end of Sector 1 now, just as we approach Turn 4, across the white line. 34.4. It's purple for now. Let's see if he can get down. If he can do another mid-36, like Kalen Chin, that might be good enough for pole position, which would be great for Ayman, because we've not seen Ayman on pole so far in the global editions.
His time 34.4. Inigo Anton, one of the Filipinos, is one or two Filipinos. Luis Moreno also in there as well. Inigo Anton is currently on top of the leaderboard, but through Sector 2, Tadashi, as we call Ayman Hakim, he's looking like he's hit that well. He's fastest through Sector 2 as well, Alex.
Yeah, he's fast through Sector 2. I wonder what Rama is doing. Rama had a great pole position this time in round 3. Is he purple? He's also purple as well. He's a 10th up. But we go back to Ayman Hakim. Let's see if he can finish this out. Can he get clean through this third sector to put it on pole position? He is a little bit further up the track than Rama, so it looks like he's going to put it on pole for now. Nice clean out the last corner. And this will be good enough for pole position at the moment. There's Jaka Susoyo, 36.7. He's on pole position at the moment. Where does Ayman finish? Not good enough. Lost it all in that third sector, so he's lost a lot of time there. Let's have a look at Andika Rama. He's got one more sector to go. And look at that. He's 3/10 up on Susoyo's time. So if he can do a 36.5, that will match Kalen Chin's pole position from Group A.
Welcome on board, Karen Anton. Andika Rama is trying to chase. He is coming into the start-finish straight. What kind of a time does he got? There's still 2:34 left. He is fastest. Andika Rama from Indonesia goes into pole. Inigo Anton, let's go on board with the Filipino. He is 5th fastest at the moment, a 1:37.5. Is he able to get inside that, Alex?
Oh, he had a mistake, was on the grass, so he's restarted. Maybe we can go with someone else. But Inigo Anton's been impressing me. He's been getting faster and faster. And I tell you what, he's not far, I think, from getting his first podium in ERGP in race 1.
Philippines champion Luis Moreno currently in P8 at the moment. 1:37.974. That is quite a long way off the pace, Alex.
Yeah, he's had a good first sector though. Looks a lot better. 34.5. Still a couple tenths down. Oh, he's made a mistake. That's it. His lap is done.
little bit further down. Andy Karama is fastest. Jacques Siswoyo is always quick, and he's always worth a headline as well, Jacques Siswoyo. Wow. Josh Perwin has sneaked into a decent lap, P3 at the moment. And he's a little bit down, but only just down on Sector 1, Alex.
Yeah, but let's go back to Jacques. Look at Jacques' Sector 1. He's made a mistake. He was up 2/10 on Sector 1. So now it's down to Rama. Rama's I think he's going to take position. Oh, he's just on the track. Does not get it invalidated that time. Yes, he does. He's out of the running. So really, they've all made mistakes. So it looks like Andika Rama is going to get his second pole position in a row. I have said qualifying wasn't his strongest suit, but now it looks like he's going to have 2 pole positions in a row. Maybe, let's have a look. I tell you what, Ayman Hakim. Let's see if he can replicate some good form. No, scrappy Sector 1 and 2. Such a shame though. Ayman Hakim, he did a 36.7 in practice just now. But when the pressure is on, when it's the time to do it in qualifying, he is unable to match his form from earlier.
Good performance from Timo Iskander. He was in P7. He's just coming through Sector 1, so there won't be a time on this. A 1:37.9 for P7, just ahead of Luis Moreno in P9. In fact, Inigo Anton has got up into P7, so Karen will be happy, as will be those Filipino flags, who are always very good to see you on Facebook. But Andika Rama will be very happy to be on P1 alongside his old sparring partner, Jacques Siswoyo.
Yeah, so good pole position. Indonesia 1-2 again. Josh not able to find the time. Bit surprised that I thought he'd be in the fight for pole position as well. But I tell you what, Ayman Hakim in P5, the 2 Malaysians, Ayman and Ayman in 4th and 5th. But the 5th one, Ayman Hakim, I know he's got the pace to get pole and perhaps win a race in race 1, but he's just not been able to put it together so far.
You're watching eRacing GP Global Edition. It's Group B. Already, Alif Hamilton, Mohamed Nakib and Mikko Nasienko have given us a brilliant race number 1, as did Kalen Chin. Let's see if the Indonesian top boys can replicate that. Alex Young and Des Corkill in the commentary box for this one. We are all just about set. It's Andika who's on pole. We're going around the Hungaroring, which has got some difficult parts on the last part of the track. We just wait for the red lights to appear top of your screen. And when they go on, we will be all set for race number 1 of this semi-final final coming your way tomorrow night, which will be a 40-minute epic.
Yeah. So we saw in the first 2 races in Group A, there were some clashes at Turn 1. Let's see if it's clean now.
Indeed, Turn 1 was almost a graveyard for the DTMs in Group A. Andika Rama in the white on the right, looks get away nice and cleanly. At the back, there's a good start from Luis Moreno, but Andika's got away from Jacques Siswoyo. Siswoyo's not too far away. Behind them, Perwin, Ayman Hazik and Tadashi are also in there. This is where the problem was in the earlier races. Cleanly through it on this occasion. No catastrophes. It's Andika Rama who leads with Inigo Anton under pressure from Dafa Ab for P6.
Yeah, everyone cleanly through. Inigo Anton, down to P7 now, loses a position. And he's at the back of this train of cars. And Siswoyo, though, in P2. Guy that qualifies very well. He's got to be careful here. Rama's really pushing. Look how hard he's on that curb. Rama knows if he can break the DRS on this first couple laps, he might be able to extend that gap and stay out for the whole race.
Jacques Siswoyo, who's with him on the front row of the grid as they come through the chicane for the first time. It's corner number 6 and then into the left-hander, right-hander 7 and 8. As you say, incredibly technical, difficult to get up a real load of speed. So if you're not a long way away, you can be caught up in these technical areas. But third place behind them is Josh Perwin, and then you've got Tadashi leading a whole bevy of cars down this straight 8 and 9.
Yeah, Ayman Hazik there in 4th position with Tadashi right behind him. It's going to be a bit of cat and mouse though. But no incidents, so all the big boys are there at the front. And it's all about, actually, I think Andika Rama, if Andika can break that gap, look at that, he's 1.2 seconds in front of position 2. So he's clear of the DRS zone at the moment. If he can inch out a couple more tenths, and don't forget, Andika Rama, he's carrying 15 kilos of ballast at the moment.
I was going to say, it is a long race, Alex, the 20 minutes. You just added an extra 5 minutes in from series number 1, and it does make a difference, but what you tend to find is the best racers manage the difficulties and the handicaps a little bit better.
Yeah, they certainly do. And you have to really, they get to the very fine details. It's like a professional sport, really. The top guys know the small details. They know how to make the tires last a bit longer. They know how to change their driving style if they need to, as the track conditions change and the tire conditions go off. And they know how to be smart in racecraft and when to take the risks and when not to take the risks. And all these small details you can only get when you get more experience racing against top quality drivers.
It's a little bit strung out over the Hungaroring in the early stages, and Di Carama still leading the way, but he can't get rid of Jaka Sizwoyo, and we know that Sizwoyo is rapid and competitive, but also capable of making a catastrophic error or losing his internet connection.
Yeah, but Jaka, we've seen some strong races from him. Maybe not the strong finals we expected. It'd be nice to see him win one of the finals one day, because he's definitely got the pace for it. He's just never been able to quite be there when it came for the finals. But I've seen him win quite a few group stage races. And you know what? He's closed down that gap. He's within 9/10 of Di Carama right now. So he's saying he's not going away. He's in DRS range as they come across there. Look at that. This is Josh. Both Josh and Jaka are ahead of them. Have got DRS range. Jaka wants to win. He's going to be looking at Di Carama, and he's not going to let his fellow countrymen get away from him.
A little bit further down, Inigo Anton goes on the inside of Dafa Ab. He'll get himself up into P6 there. Just going a little bit wide there was Dafa Ab, who's really just still trying to get used to the competitiveness of the gold class, Alex Young.
Yeah, Inigo Anton really, he's improved, hasn't he? He's really with this class of competition, normally in the mid pack, but now he's always 5th, 4th in that battle for 4th, 5th and 6th. So showing again some good moves there. Okay, he's lost a little bit of contact with the cars in front from the back and forth going with the blue car, but he's got the pace, and I think he can close up the gap to both Aymans in 4th and 5th position.
Let's go down towards the tail where Marv Dondokambe is leading a group with Mohammed Khalif, Nicholas Stephen and Brody Steen. This is the battle for P14, competitive right the way down the grid. Ruben Wong's also in that little group, but they're a long way behind the race leader and Di Carama, as we welcome Mike Anthony Nokam to Shayla Rafiq, and welcome to the Facebook pages. Keep your comments coming, please. And Di Carama, though, is reading the track rather better than the comments.
Yes, he is, isn't he? Let's not forget, he was the winner of round 3. He was actually the winner of round 2 and 3. Had a disastrous round 1. But whenever you win the round, that means you must carry success ballast. And because Andika won the round, he carries 15 kilos. The top 10 of each round always carries ballast in the next race, and then it resets again. So 15 kilos around this track with this many corners is going to cost him a couple tenths a lap. So it was super impressive for him to get pole position. And he's driving fantastically. For me, he's been the form driver in this edition of Global Edition so far. And when drop points come into play, he's going to be fighting for the championship for sure. Leif Hamilton's winning the championship at the moment, but when you consider drop points, actually, I think Di Carama is right there too.
Real good battle going on between Ryan Keith and Timo Iskander. This is the battle for P10. Ryan Keith is just leading, he's just behind. He's in the blue, and in front of him you've got Timo Iskander, who was lapping pretty well in qualification, but now he's in these mid battles. We focus on the top drives, of course we do, but there's plenty of competitiveness that goes on further down the grid, Alex.
Yeah, the good racing goes throughout the grid, and that's what we've seen. It's great racing all the way down, but and while I wish we could show all of it, we have to focus on the front, don't we? And that's where everyone wants to see who wins, and it is heating up as Sosoyo is closing down the gap to Di Carama.
Di Carama, second in last week's final, is leading the way but hasn't been able to pull away from Jaka Sizwoyo. And Josh Purwin is also not being dropped off either. Purwin is, every time he's out there, Alex Young, he is competitive.
Yes, but no cigar yet. He won a group stage of the very first race of the first edition, and he's not won a race since then, and I know it's bugging him. because he's been in contention for not just the race wins in the group stages, but for the final wins as well. But he's just not been able to do it, and he's struggling for pace a little bit at the moment. I thought he'd be a bit more closer to the guys in front, really trying to make a move on Jaka, but he doesn't have the pace at the moment to try to overtake Jaka for second position.
How about the Malaysian duo as well, Ayman Haziq and Ayman Hakim Tadashi? They are 5 and 6 at the moment. This is on board Tadashi. The common liveries is a little bit confusing sometimes, but the graphics bottom of your screen will always work out, distinguish who is who. We're on board here with Tadashi, who takes the Japanese lane, although he's in the same car as Josh Berlin.
Yeah, they're all anime fans. And the Japanese connections with both Aymans is kind of interesting. Ayman Hakim obviously loves his anime. And the car in 4th position, Ayman Haziq, actually lives in Japan and also loves his anime as well. And these two drivers from Malaysia, you know, on their day, they're as quick as anybody out there, for sure. But when it comes to the championship rounds, these close editions, when the pressure's on, they just haven't quite... I don't see the form they can produce in practice or on leaderboard testing. I haven't seen them be able to replicate that form when the pressure is on, and they have to try and do it in the qualifying or the final. And that's why they're on the podium occasionally, always in the top 5, but not quite fighting for the race wins yet.
There they are, trailing 4 and 5 at the moment as Andika Rama goes through in P1 from Siswoyo. Haziq looks like he might be making a move here. This is on board Ayman Haziq. He's got Josh Purwin in his sights. In fact, everyone's got each other in their sights as they go round corner number 1 into corner number 2. And then you've got the longer straight, apart from the start-finish straight, coming up 2, 3 and 4, and possible opportunities if you're in the right position.
Yes, there are. Tell you, after a manic Group A, Group B has been very sedate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Top 5 just following each other. DRS is helping them stay with the leader, but you know, in the previous races with the long straights, the DRS effect was much stronger. But here at Hungary, it's known for being tight and twisty. John Alesi famously called it a car park. It's like racing around a car park, a go-kart track, he said. And it is like that. There's so many corners. So Meads is a great track to drive, but for racecraft, for racing, if to do an overtake, you have to be so committed and take big risks to try and make the move happen.
Maybe we'll see those risks as we get into the second half of the race. We're approaching the halfway mark. Mitchell Cheer, I'm sad to say, is out of the game. He might be getting back onto the track, but he's been kicked out. Brody Steen is right at the tail, but he's trying to get close to Nicholas Stephen. Oh, he's a long way down. Nicholas Stephen and Mohammed Khalif, they are battling along with each other. When it is sedate, to use Alex Young's word, it does give us a chance to look down the rest of the field. Ruben Wong, another of the young Malaysians. He's got James Russell in his sights. He's got Marv Dondakombe right behind him. Should we just stay with this one for a short while, Alex?
We should do, because let's talk about that. We see Ruben Wong in the Red Bull Audi, and just in front of him, the orange Audi of James Russell. They're both team owners. Ruben here runs a very successful Tedco team here out of Malaysia. Has won a lot of races in local touring car racing. James Russell in front of him in the orange Audi is the boss of Stratus Motorsport, one of the top karting teams in the region. Very, very high quality team. In fact, he's got a lot of his drivers, a lot of his chargers racing here in the ERGP.
Sorry, I broke away to the leading racers because Jaka Siswoyo looks like he might be making a move here. He got very close indeed, within 1/10 of a second. And for the first time, Andika Rama has to show a little bit of defensive work because Jaka is all over the back of his back wheel. But Andika Rama, yeah, he's a cool, calm, calculated racer. 9 minutes to go, he's been able to stay in front, lapping regularly 1:37.5. His last lap of 1:37.9, so consistent lapping from Andika at the front.
Jaka using the DRS in a very unusual place. He likes using it in that short straight. And I don't know if it's better or not, and if it is, he's the only one doing it. So if it is better, well done for figuring that out. But now we come out for another lap. He's looking super close here. If he can get a good exit out of here. Oh, Rama has a small slide out of the last corner. That's going to cost him some lap time. Yes, and look at that. Jaka's so close. He's got the DRS. Rama knows. He's not even going to try and defend. He's going to just let Jaka go through. And he takes a position into turn 1.
As they go into lap 8, the first time Jaka Sizwoyo has been in the lead, and Josh Perwin was able to get right on the rear wheels also of Andika Rama. Sizwoyo, Andika, Josh Perwin and Eamon Haziq not too far away. Josh Perwin goes on the inside of Andika. Andika loses P2 and has dropped 2 places and is now under pressure from Eamon Haziq and Tadashi right behind them.
Tell you what, Rama will regret that. If he had defended into turn 1, I still think Jaka would have got him, but he might have been in a better position to then defend from Perwin. As it is, Perwin got a run on him out of turn 1 and made the move into turn 2. So the Australian doing a good job there. And he's been tagged by Rama and ran wide at the chicane, managed to recover, but that's allowed Jaka Sizwoyo to get a little bit further in front.
A second clear for Jaka Sizwoyo right behind them. Andika Rama under real pressure, although he's putting pressure on Josh Perwin. Now it's hotting up a little bit. 7:22 to go. Sizwoyo still has the lead, but the battle behind them, Alex, really very good. Perwin, Andika, Eamon and Tadashi at the tail.
Perwin looks like he's got some damage on the front of the car. Maybe he had some contact with someone. But yeah, so this is perfect for Jaka. With 7 minutes to go, Jaka Sizwoyo, he's got the pace to win this race for sure. If he can just break out of DRS zone, and he is out of DRS zone. 1.2 seconds in front of Josh Perwin. Josh there, he's going to be a sitting duck because Rama behind him has got DRS, and it's going to close the gap. Whoa, look at it, he's closing on the gap into turn 1.
But not able to get close enough. Quickly, a mention of our Pinoy friends, our Filipino friends. Inigo Anton is down in P6. And where is... Mourinho's right behind him in P7. So again, competitive without being at the front of the grid. Back to the front of the grid. Sizwoyo is pulling away over a second clear of Perwin.
Really good there. Yeah, he's got the hammer down, hasn't he? So Sawyer knows this is his race to win. If he can just have 2 very, very precise, clean laps, doesn't make any mistakes, it's going to be very hard for Josh to get back into DRS zone.
Just slows down around the chicane. And on board with Andika Rama. He's pulled a little bit of space between him and Eamon Haziq and Eamon Aki and Tadashi. Anton and Mourinho a little bit further down on them.
Yeah. So we just talked about how Jaka's approach has to be still super aggressive, but has to be very precise. Can't afford any mistakes. Very different for Perwin. Perwin has to be aggressive now. He knows how quick Jaka is. So Perwin is like, if I take it too conservative here, Jaka will be gone and I won't be able to close the gap. So he has to take the risk. He has to try and inch out, maybe break a foot or 2 later, carry that speed a bit more. Of course, then runs the risk of making a mistake and completely being out of the fight. And he has actually. He'd actually closed down the gap to 9/10, and he's made that mistake we're just talking about, and he's now 1.5 seconds behind the race leader.
And that means that he comes under pressure once again from Andika Rama, but Andika wasn't quite close enough. He got to within half a second, but there's still 5 minutes to go, Alex. A lot can change. One little mistake, as we saw from Perwin, costing him maybe 2 or 3 tenths of a second. All Sizwoyo has to do is make a mistake, and he's being clawed right back by these chasing group.
Yeah, but Jaka's not going to make that mistake now. 4.5 minutes, just over 4.5 minutes to go. Jaka's too precise a driver. He's a very, very precise driver, and he's doing it right now. He's just churning out the laps. Fastest lap of the race for him, actually, in the last one, 37.5. Not the fastest lap of the race. There are some faster cars out there, but more importantly, he's been super consistent and not making any mistakes.
A little bit further down, Dafa Ab is the third best of the Indonesians. He's in P8. Timo Iskander down in P9. Ryan Keith in P10. It is Merckx 1 through 10. Eamon Haziq is trying to get closer onto Andika Rama. Eamon really fancies a place in the top 3. He'd like to really push Andika Rama off that podium place.
Yeah, and tell you what, it'd do him a world of good, because he'd be able to, actually, if he can overtake, let's not forget Andika Rama, who's been the form driver for the last 2 races. That'd be a really, really good boost for Eamon's confidence too.
Mercedes still absolutely dominating, and Sizwoyo, you may well be right, Alex, with 3.5 to go. He's still held on to that 2.5 plus lead. Perwin now feels the pressure from Andika Rama. Perwin, he looks like he's carrying a lot of damage is Josh Perwin on the front of his car, and Andika Rama might now be able to make the move back into P2.
It's strange, I'm not seeing Andika using the DRS. I would have thought he'd be using the DRS, trying to get back in front of Josh. But he just seems to be very calm and collected. Okay, he's using the DRS now, the rear wing's tilted back. Is he going to try and go around the outside? Oh, yes, he's going to try and go around the outside. And he's done it. Has he done it? Josh pulls him out a bit, but now Andika's got the inside for this corner. And you have the inside for the chicane. Nicely done by the Indonesian.
And also, Ayman Hazik is making a move on Josh Perwin as well. So there is Ayman in the dark-coloured Merc once again. So Jaka Sizwayo, while all this dueling is going on, has increased his lead to 2.8 seconds, 2:35 on the race to go. 2 laps, we think. This plus one more.
Yeah, one more, two, so 1.5 laps to go. Oh, and Andika Rama there getting right out the slipstream for some reason. But still, it's allowed Josh through.
It has indeed. Josh Perwin through into P2. Tadashi makes a move as well behind there. Josh Perwin, despite the damage on the front of his car, Alex, able to hold on. Andika Rama tries to find his way straight back as they come. Oh, tell you what, there will be another lap after this, Alex. We'll have 2 more laps to go because they're lapping of 1:37. There's 1:53 left on the clock. 2 more laps to go. So, Andika, does he want to overtake this lap? I suppose he does on this circuit.
Oh, Josh covering the inside. Look at that. Ayman having a look at the back of Andika as well. All 3 cars behind that damaged pink Mercedes have DRS. Into turn 2, not close enough for Andika Rama. Josh survives for now, but he's still got another lap and a bit to go.
For those who listened to Alex before, he said sedate. This is sedate in eRacing. 4 racers going for P2 within a second of each other. Jaka Sizwayo is racing clear. Quick look on Jaka Sizwayo. He's 4 seconds clear. But really, let's focus on this battle for P2 because Perwin is going to have to work hard. Andika in the white, Ayman in the grey, and the second pink car belongs to Ayman Akim Tadashi.
Very good indeed. Ayman looking at that, watching the cars in front. Oh, it's getting so close there. Look at that. Andika Rama, he was looking a bit calm behind Josh, but now he's not. The body language is he's getting impatient. He knows he's running out of time to do that. DRS, that's the last DRS he has for this lap. He'll get another 3 more DRSs once he crosses the finish line. Jaka Sizwayo, he's out in front. He's gotten this race won. But now this is the battle for second position. A 4-car train for second position, with 1 lap and 1 corner to go.
It is still Perwin, despite that damage at the front of his car. Jaka Sizwayo has a huge lead of nearly 4 seconds over Josh Perwin. Perwin, though, will feel the pressure. Andika Rama goes around the outside. He waited to deploy the DRS. Defended manfully by Josh Perwin. Ayman tries to go through on the inside of Andika. And also, Tadashi has a little dash on the inside. Perwin defends with fists, with elbows, with legs, with limbs, but holds on to P2.
Yeah, so Andika there, I thought he was going to try and go around the outside of Perwin, but he wasn't able to. Perwin got his braking just right, which also made it very hard for Andika to do it. So, wow. Although it was all coming to a head, there had been no position changes coming into this last lap.
Well, unless there's a mistake, Andika is right on the tail of Josh Perwin. Ayman Hazik is also in there as well. And Tadashi waiting for P4. Perwin closed the door as Andika makes another move. Way clear. Sizwayo is going to pick up the 25 points. Of that there is no doubt. Behind them, Perwin still under pressure. Andika, Ayman and Tadashi are all in there. Ayman goes alongside Andika Rama. Can't pull through. We've got to go through to the race leader because Sizwayo is well clear. Assuming Sizwayo does not crash, let's stick with the race for P2, Alex. And Perwin is able to hold on. Josh Perwin will go through and take P2 ahead of Andika Rama, ahead of Ayman Hazik, ahead of Ayman Tadashi. Dafa Ab will come in 6th place. Timo Iskander can't get in front of him. And Moreno wins the Battle of Manila to beat Inigo Anton for P8. But Jacques Sizwoyo, you said, consistent in the race. And that was really very impressive. Sedate, but impressive.
Yeah, sedate by ERGP standards. I still thoroughly enjoyed that race. But yes, big round of applause to Jacques Osorio, the Indonesian, coming good again on race 1. Almost had pole position. Was just ousted from pole by half a tenth of a second. And just drove magnificently. Didn't put a foot wrong. They did the move in a really economical way. Made no errors after that. And that's it. Well done. Good race win.
Josh Perwin should change his name to Josh Perwin second, because he's spent so many times on second place in the grid, be it in finals or be it in races, and he's second here once again. Ayman Hazik, how about that? He picks up the fastest lap with a 1:37.4, so not the quickest race. Group A were lapping in the 1:36s at one stage, or certainly in the qualifications they were. Nonetheless, Hazik picking up points for the fastest lap and P4.
Yeah, I think that was a kind of a cagey race, wasn't it? Everyone was kind of watching each other. We know they got the pace. I mean, you do a 36.7 in qualifying, you know these cars are quick. But it wasn't as frantic as Group A. Group A, you knew there were so many points on the line, especially because when you had someone like Alif and Nakib were fighting for the championship, they're desperate to take points out of each other. But here, Rama, you know, he knows he needs to just keep getting in the top 3, and it'll do him really good for the championship.
We're at the Hungaroring reverse grid race for race number 2. Those who had a bit of a nightmare in race number 1 have an opportunity just to try to get a little bit of payback and ensure they can get through into the final. Alex Young and Des Corkill in the commentary box. James Russell is on pole. He is on the left. Oh, right. So Nicholas Stephen is there as well. We are underway, and James Russell in the orange on the left-hand side has got off to a storming start. Wow. And Russell is quick, and there he was off the blocks. Wow, like Usain Bolt.
Wow, one car that is missing is Brody Steen. Brody Steen finished at the back of race 1, and he would have been my favourite for the race 2 win, because he would have started right at the front. But yeah, he's disappeared. Must have got kicked out. Shame for the Australian. But here we are, back with the action. Nicholas Stephen, one of the new drivers with us. I think he was with us the last race. It's only his second race with us in P5, getting very frantic as they run up to P3.
For Luis Moreno, he's got himself up into P2, but James Russell has pinched nearly a full second over Moreno. This is only lap number 1. It is a 20-minute race, and if you get in front on the Hungaroring, it can be a good thing, but the drivers can bunch up behind you, and then you've got to be really consistent. Further down, 8th place, Perwin elbows his way into P7, and poor old Marv Donderkambe drops down 2 places to P9, and then goes for a little bit of a spin.
Oh no, I think that was Inigo Anton that just tapped him, or it might have been Ayman Hazik. That might have to be looked at after the race as well. I think very unlucky there. But yeah, so Perwin and Rama up to 7 and 8. That's a really good job, because they started right at the back.
Perwin's got himself up into P6. They're sandwiching Ryan Keith, the Singaporean, but it's the Audi of James Russell that is leading, and he's taking Philippines' finest Luis Moreno with him. And these two have got a 2-second advantage, Alex Young, over Dafa Ab back in P3, and that could be significant.
I tell you what, it's really interesting watching this, because James Russell is a very experienced real-life racer. Very, very good karter, and he concedes the lead to Moreno. Moreno goes down the inside, outbrakes himself, and Russell comes back at him. But now Moreno has the DRS, and he makes the lead his own, and he takes the lead. But just going back to James is a very, very experienced racer. For racecraft, there'll be few drivers out there as experienced as him, but he's so new to sim racing, he doesn't have the pace of these guys who are more experienced in sim racing. And Moreno's one of these drivers, a top Filipino driver who has very experience in sim racing. And now he's hit the front. It's going to be very hard for anyone to catch him.
P3 belongs to Dafa Ab. Wonderful name. He's in the Mercedes. James Russell in the Audi in second. The second Audi of Ruben Wong from Malaysia. He is just ahead of Nicholas Stephen behind them, and then a whole train. And Dika's got ahead of Josh Perwin. Good battle going on there, and Andika's got himself up into P6, Alex.
Yeah, somehow managed to get past Perwin. That was the main thing. He'd have been very keen to get in front of Perwin, and he's done that nicely. Oh, he's going to look down the inside for this corner. Big risk there, but Stephen gives the drivers the space, and Perwin follows him through.
Alfred Z joins us on Facebook. Mick Onassi says, it's crazy how clean they are going into turn 1 at the race start. Well, that wasn't the case in Group A. Group B, they've been very civilised, Miko. Maybe they're just more civilised than you, old chap.
Yes, ruffians in Group 1. Group A, sorry. Lewis Moreno across the start-finish line. Look at the gap, 1.5 seconds in front of James Russell. So James Russell now looking backwards at Dakar Ab in 3rd position.
There is James Russell. He's 2 seconds down. Moreno is leading further down. Poor old Marv Dondercombe. He's recovered, and that's Tadashi. Once again, what's going on with Ayman Hakim Tadashi? P5 in race number 1, which was respectable, but P15 at the moment in race 2, Alex.
Yeah, Ayman just, I don't know what happened. He got spun out or something. And I know Ayman, he's a super competitive driver. Very, very good attention to detail. Very professional, actually, the way he goes about things, but super intense. So when things don't go his way, he's the sort of driver that will beat his fist against the steering wheel, maybe even bend it with a brute force. He gets kind of Hulk-like with his anger, so he'll not be happy to be in 15th position.
Andika Rama, meantime, has got himself up into P4. Dafa Ab is in his sights. Where is Dafa? Well, Dafa is chasing James Russell for P2. Dafa Ab goes sideways. James Russell has to be careful. Dafa is right there, and Dafa Ab goes through into P2. And Jim Russell, who was leading at the end of the previous lap, finds himself down in P3 and under pressure from Andika Rama, Alex Young.
Yeah, Andika Rama, wow, he's going to get through James Russell, I think, very quickly in the next lap. But James is still not finished. He gets good exit out of the penultimate corner. Oh, Andika, no, this is not a good time. He can do it down the straight. But I tell you what, James is going to get a good exit as well. And he'll have DRS. But I tell you what, he doesn't get the straight line, so doesn't get the speed into the straight as the 2 cars around him. I wonder, it almost looked like his throttle wasn't at 100%. It's kind of curious because his line looked good. He looked like he got the power early, but he wasn't able to get the same acceleration as the other 2 cars.
Andika Rama, though, eases his way through ahead of James Russell into P3. Dafa Ab, this is the best we have seen of Dafa Ab as he goes down the little hill into the very difficult left-right combination. Comes out of it very neatly. Luis Moreno is the man who has just sped out of your screen. Dafa Ab trying to get close, but Dafa has got some quality behind him in Andika Rama, and Josh Perwin also trying to put pressure on Jim Russell.
Josh is going to be impatient to get past Dafa, isn't he? Because he's seeing Andika Rama, his championship rival, just pulling out a little bit into the distance there. He's not going to want to let Andika get too far away. Ooh, Dafa has a moment in front of him. Josh would have to get out of that. If he's got another DRS, maybe he might use it in the next corner. But yeah, Dafa there, holding on to P2.
Ayman Hazik is also in there. Josh Perwin goes inside James Russell. Russell is just going backwards. He was the race leader for a while, but fastest lap time, last lap of 1:45.3. He hasn't put in a valid lap since then. And James Russell, once upon a time in the lead, now back in P6 and struggling, Alex.
Yeah, it is very interesting indeed. James, though, he had a good run at the front. See, he's pushing a little bit harder to try and stay with the fast drivers. He's making a couple of mistakes there. But James, if you're listening, you should have a look at your sim rig. I think it's costing you some speed out of those corners for some reason compared to everyone else, because there's nothing wrong with your lines, mate.
Andika Rama goes through into P2. Dafa Ab kindly just lets him go through. See what I mean, Miko? Sensible, civilised chaps out there. Josh Perwin, in the meantime, tries to hold on to P4 under pressure from Ayman Hazik, but Andika Rama looks like he's getting away now from Dafa Ab, Alex Young.
Yeah, he's through to P2, and I tell you what, he'll close the gap to Moreno, but does he have enough time? 12 minutes to go. Let's not forget, Moreno's a very experienced driver, and he knows how to win from the front. But, 12 minutes to go. Can he close the gap? 3 seconds between 1 and 2.
Okay, further down, Ayman Hazik is trying to make a move on Josh Perwin through the chicane, through corner 6, and then they'll take the left, right, 7 and 8, and then sweep round corner 9 and 10. You're dead right, it's very technical and no real opportunities to smash that DRS.
Yeah, it is very hard, and I tell you what, it's nice to see Ayman Hazik looking a bit more combative. He was a bit... I know how quick he is, but I thought he was just a little bit too calm in race 1. I would love to see him pull a move on Josh to get into the top 4.
Let's look at Luis Moreno meantime. There's plenty of Filipinos on the Facebook. Alfred Z, welcome along. Jamil, also welcome along. And who else have we got? Karen and Lara Manallo, welcome along. And I'm sure you're enjoying seeing Luis Moreno leading the way. But I need to tell you, the gap to him and Andika Rama is closing. It's 2.5 seconds. It was 3.8, Alex Young.
Yeah, 2.4 now. So Moreno is teammates, Legion of Racers teammates with him and Andika. So this would be quite a spicy fight. I expect it to be hard. It's always hard between these two, but it should be fair as well.
Dafa Ab and Josh Perwin there. We haven't mentioned Jaka Cisvoyo yet. He's got himself up into P6, Jaka, winner of race number 1 by quite some distance with 11 minutes still to go, Alex.
Yeah.
Is a podium possible?
Well, he's just set the fastest lap of the race, 37.6. So, you know, he didn't have a great first lap, wasn't able to get through as much traffic as he would have liked. But yeah, fastest lap now of the race, he'll be pushing. Yeah, it's enough time. He'll catch up to the battle just in front of him.
It's Ayman Hazik and Josh Perwin that is the battle in front of him. And that battle is some 2.5 seconds ahead of him. And those two will be competing against each other. Ayman Hazik tries to get Josh in his sights. Josh has got Dafa Ab in the blue just ahead of him. And Dika has pulled a second clear of Dafa Ab. And he's now within 2 seconds of race leader Luis Moreno. It's like the fishing line. He is slowly but surely reeling him in.
Yeah, that's a lot, isn't it? He's taking another half a second out of this lap. So half a second of the lap before and half a second out of this lap. Yeah, that gap's going to disappear in no time. You know, got 10 minutes to go still. And Dika's going to be challenging for the race win.
Greetings back to the Filipinos who are watching. Luis Moreno is there as Ayman Hazik all over the back wheel there of Josh Perwin. Perwin has to defend. Ayman is really proving that he is a quality racer. He just needs maybe to get a win to boost his confidence, Alex.
Yeah, it would be really good. You know, yeah, confidence is the thing. You know, Josh Perwin is very experienced sim racing. He's won championships from all around the world. You know, competed international stage many times. Ayman Hazik, you know, he's from Malaysia. We've known him for a long time. He's been very quick, won a lot of competitions here in Malaysia. And, you know, he just needs... He's got the pace to do well. He's got the pace to win races, but he hasn't been able to do it yet. And I tell you, he has to get that confidence. If he can just beat Josh in a fair fight, it would do wonders for his confidence.
Well, Dafa Ab has got in the middle of them because Josh Perwin, as we were focusing on Ayman Hazik, Josh Perwin got inside Dafa Ab, and Dafa, who was so fast earlier on in the race, just seems to have lost a little bit of concentration. Now he's grimly defending P4.
Yeah, tough indeed, though. I think Ayman's got to get through. This next lap is... He can't allow another lap to go with Dafa there because Perwin will be gone. So Ayman has to get a really good exit out of this last corner and try and get Dafa into turn 1. And he has. He's got a great exit out of the last corner. He's all over the back. They both have DRS, but Ayman's exit was just so good and easy overtaking in the end of it.
At the front, look at that. Andika Rama goes into the lead ahead of Luis Moreno. He has eaten up a 3.5 second deficit inside 3 laps. That is terrific. Lapping 1:37.7 to Moreno's 1:38.2.
Yeah, well done. Andika Rama through the win. Finished P3 in race 1. Had pole position though, so he's had another good run of points here. Yeah, and then no one's going to catch him now. He's going to be gone, isn't he? And Moreno's going to have to start looking backwards because Perwin's closing the gap to him.
So Andika Rama, the form guide says Andika Rama will pick up a lot of points. He has in all bar the first round of this season. Now he's got ahead of Luis Moreno. He has streaked clear into a 2-second lead, and Moreno has to be careful because Josh Perwin is closing in. Remember how Moreno was so dominant in the Philippines edition. This is a completely different class.
It is. I mean, you're looking at the best sim drivers in the region here. The Filipino edition we had was just Filipino drivers, and there's very high standard. But the level's just kind of gone up a little bit here in the global edition. Luis Moreno in P2, but looking over his shoulder. As Perwin, he's close. He's well within a second now of position 2. And he's dragged Ayman Hazik with him.
Okay, let's have a little look further down. Tadashi is leading a group with Nicholas Stephen, Ruben Wong, Inigo, Anton and Mohammed Khalif. That's Khalif. He's got Anton in front of him. Poor old Marv Dondakambe was barged out. He's right down in P15. Dafa Abs down in P5 under pressure from Jaka Sizwoyo. Jaka, with 6.5 minutes to go, has made up time on Dafa Ab. And you wouldn't rule out a podium position for Jaka Sizwoyo?
Well, I don't know, mate. I think I am. Because Perwin and Hazik, they've managed to get through Dafa and extend that gap with 6 minutes. I mean, I can see Sosoyo catching Dafa. But I think Perwin and Hazik, unless of course Moreno holds them up, which seems to be happening. If these three start scrapping, then maybe Sosoyo can get into that battle for the podium position.
That's now the battle for P2, and poor old Luis Moreno, he was a long way clear at one stage, and suddenly he finds he's under real pressure to hold on to not only P2, but he may well be dropping down even further. A lot of work to do in the remaining 5.5 minutes for Luis Moreno. And Dika Rama leads. Luis Moreno second, but look at that, right behind him, Josh Perwin closes in down this right-hand corner, and they'll head into the sharp left. Perwin looks on the inside. That's corner number 12. And he looks like he's going to be perfectly positioned coming into the home straight. Josh Perwin to implement the DRS, Alex.
Yeah, he is right now. I'm not sure if he's close enough to do it at turn 1, but he's going to give it a go. Both the cars behind the black car of Luis Moreno have DRS. Ayman has it. Josh has it. Josh goes to the outside in the pink Mercedes. Does he try and outbrake? Yes, he does. Outbrakes him and goes around cleanly around the outside. A bit like Nakib did on Alif Hamilton in Group A. And look at that. Ayman Hazik now has the slipstream as well. Will he try and go through the inside of both cars? Decides not to. I wonder if he thought about it though. Trying to go down the inside through both cars. But look at that. Now Ayman's not using the DRS. I thought he was going to use the DRS out of that corner to try and go around the outside of Moreno into this corner. But I guess he decided he wasn't close enough. And now look at that, the black car of Moreno between Perwin and Hazik.
Josh Perwin has got himself into P2, and Dika Rama, meantime, is on his own race, 4.5 seconds clear. Jaka Sizwoyo is right on the tail. You wrote him off, Alex. I always think that's dangerous, and he's now in P5, right on the tail of Ayman Hazik and Luis Moreno.
Yeah, it's all going to be down to Ayman, you see. If Ayman can get cleanly before Sosoyo latches onto both of them, then I think he'll be able to hold on to P3. But if he doesn't, you're right. Oh, it goes down the inside. Oh, contact. Oh, no, Ayman. That wasn't the right move, I feel. And now look at that. Sosoyo through. Bad decision making, I feel, there by Ayman Hazik. It wasn't the safe move. He had the pace to take Moreno. He just had to be a bit more patient. And now Sosoyo's through. And you're right. Sosoyo's now going to get into that fight for that final podium position.
I am looking forward to 3.5 minutes time, and I can say, I told you so. And Dika Rama leads. Josh Perwin in P2. Sizwoyo challenges Moreno for P3. Right behind them, Ayman Hazik, though, having made that mistake, is desperately trying to rectify the error. But fair play to Luis Moreno. He's holding on at the moment into P3 at the moment. How long for?
How long? I would say for about 4/5 of a lap. Hold on to it for 4/5 of a lap, and I think Sosoyo will be through next time to go across the start finish. Look how much he's attacking that corner, though, right all over the back of Moreno there. Moreno having a couple stabs of the brake in the middle of the corner. Further up, though, Josh Perwin in P2 pulled out a gap between that battle for third position. And whoa, Perwin getting sideways. Got to watch out for that, Josh. Let's not forget at the Red Bull Ring in round 3, he spun out of the lead in the last corner. So needs to be careful how aggressive he is with that throttle.
Sizwoyo on the back of Moreno, and look how close though Ayman Hazik is. Ayman's not giving this one up. I tell you, if there's a mistake from any of the race in front, Ayman Hazik is in the perfect position to capitalise.
Tell you what though, Moreno's going to get DRS for this next lap. That's going to help him defend from Sizwoyo. So that's very interesting. That Perwin mistake has allowed Moreno to close up, and both the two cars at the front of this train will get DRS. It's not the first car, sorry, but the second, third, and fourth car will have DRS, which will allow Moreno to defend.
But there will be 2 laps, Alex. That is crucial as well. Perwin, Moreno, Sizwoyo tries to make a move, as does Luis Moreno. He's not giving up his podium place. We expected him to go backwards, and he hasn't, Alex.
No, he hasn't. He's got DRS again down here. This is perfect for Moreno. Wow, Josh Perwin has really helped out the Filipino driver. 1.5 laps to go, though. Anything can happen, and it usually does, doesn't it, Dennis?
Certainly does. Josh Perwin leading the battle for P2. Behind them, Moreno, Jacques Sizwoyo again tries to get close to Moreno. In many ways, I'm rooting for the Filipino, but Sizwoyo goes through on the inside. Door closed by Luis Moreno. Sizwoyo tries once again. Moreno is on the outside, and Sizwoyo through the chicane successfully negotiates himself into a podium place.
Well done by Jacques Sizwoyo. Just mugged Moreno into that, was it turn 5 there. A little bit surprised that Moreno didn't cover the inside, because Jacques was so close. It was such a good exit. He was always going to send it down the inside. And look at that. Now Moreno under pressure from Ayman Hazik. Ayman's going to try the same thing. Well, let's see if he can keep that car in line. He outbraked himself and he got sideways. Very similar thing happened, but he's able to get the better drive, and now he's up to P4.
Inside 2 corners, Luis Moreno saw a podium dream disappear, and Di Carama is disappearing into the sunset in P1. Josh Perwin happy that they're scrapping behind, but Sizwoyo is close to the back of Josh Perwin and is within DRS range coming into the final lap, Alex Young.
Closing as they go into the sun, like you say. He'll have 2 more DRS pushes. After this, he'll use one now out of turn 1. See the rear wing tilt back. And that sheds the downforce, sheds the drag. Not close enough. I think Perwin might hang on for at least a couple more corners. But there's still a couple more smallish straights where Jacques can still try and use the DRS to take that position.
Round corner number 3, Josh Perwin under intense pressure. He was second in race number 1. He's second again here in race number 2. But Jacques Sizwoyo alongside. Perwin defends on the inside. Jacques tries to go around the outside. Perwin defends. Jacques Sizwoyo holds on. Just has the lead. Perwin leaves the braking lane. Through the chicane once again. Sizwoyo leads. Perwin reacts and Perwin responds. Holds on to P2, Josh Perwin.
Wow, that was great racing there. Josh did the right thing and covered the inside into turn 5, which Moreno didn't do the last lap. So Jacques had to go round the outside and almost made it happen.
In the front though, Andy Karama will come through. He is very, very close. Perwin though hasn't given this one up completely.
Sizwoyo got through somehow. I think Perwin must have made a mistake, and Sizwoyo now up to position 2.
Wow, incredible. Andy Karama will take the race victory by nearly 8 seconds behind them. Look at this. Sizwoyo holds on from Josh Perwin. Ayman Hazik tries to get him to P3, but has to settle for P4 once again. Poor old Luis Moreno finishes in P5. Dafa Abin 6. Tadashi got up into 7 ahead of Timo Iskander. Ryan Keith for Singapore in P9. James Russell, one-time leader, leads a train of Nicholas Stephen, Ruben Wong and Mohammed Khalif through into P10. But Andy Karama, the form guide, will focus on him in a moment. Jacques Sizwoyo, second place, Alex, to add to his P1 in race 1.
Yeah, I tell you what, I gotta stop saying that. I've been told not to say that too many times, but I tell you what, it's really exciting. Rama takes the win and the fastest lap. So Soyo did such a good job to get up to P2 after a very, very slow first couple of laps. Really pulled the gap. Great job by him. Indonesian 1-2, Perwin in 3, Ayman Hazik 4th, Luis Moreno in 5th, Dafa Ab in 6th. Ayman Hakim also did a good recovery drive to get to P7 with Iskander 8, Keith 9th, and like we said earlier on, Russell in 10th.
Sedate. You called it sedate, mate.
I take it back. That was really exciting. Great racing indeed. Loved it. Well, I tell you, two Indonesians really, Rama, class of the field today, managed to take that second win despite having 15 kilos. But Susoyo, I tell you, after the first 2 laps, I thought he was out of it. He didn't make the moves that the others made, and he was such a big gap. You called it right. You said he'd get back into a podium position, and he did. He did. Really, really strong second half of the race.
I've got to get it right. Even a clock is right twice a day, so I had to get it right. Okay, our focus after 2 really good rounds. We will focus on the Copper class next. We will, of course, be posting the results. I'm sure there's going to be 1 or 2 protests coming in from races 1 and race number 2. So we'll get the overall standings for you on social media by tonight, and we'll work out the 24 finalists for the gold medal of gold class 40-minute race tomorrow. So though, our focus now moves on to the copper class, where the guys are already in the in the server. But let's have a look at who the starters are going to be in this copper class race. And the overall championship leader, Zuriel Somadabilia, is the man who will be leading the way. And we can also look at Zarif Hazik. Those two have virtually dominated what's been going on so far. Alan Escoto from the Philippines has also been impressive. Edward Wong from Malaysia is hopefully on the grid as well. Yevin David as opposed to Yevan David, just to make life really easy for commentators. The younger David is going to be good. Daniel Oy we've seen win one race in the reverse grid race. Regal de Trois representing Vietnam, and Junelli Cruz make it very competitive. 24 have said that they would try to enter the server. It's close enough or late enough for the day for us to have everybody in.
Come back to you and I.
It certainly is. Hopefully we're in the server. Yeah, we can tell you that there are 22 guys out on the circuit already. Many of them were commenting on Facebook before. Great they're getting involved, but now they've got to focus on the race in hand. Zarif Hazik Johari is the man who really interests me as the man most likely to knock Subadabelia off top spot.
Yes, Zarif was really quick. Zero Sumodabila obviously is very quick as well. Alan Escoto, I'd like to see him win a race because he's been there or thereabouts, but not quite having the last couple tenths per lap to try and get that. Yevon David's also improved a lot. Actually, let's have a look at the championships, shall we?
Let's have a look at that. Axel Mariano, I enjoyed his performance, but Sumadabelia has 107 points, 17 clear of Zarif Hazik. Escoto, as you say, well, he's a long way behind, isn't he? As is Edward Wong. We said Sumadabelia and Zarif Hazik are the star names. Well, it needs somebody to have a really good weekend. Points down to Yevin David, not Yevan David. Daniel Oy, Regal de Trois. Axel Mariano is another of the young kids, and Ken Smith. So very competitive, with it closer at the bottom end of that, from 5 down to 10, only separated by 12 points. Good championship. Practice. The guys have got I need my glasses on. 3 minutes or so left to go. Sumadabelia is fastest already. Worthwhile looking at Axel Mariano because he was very competitive last week. Also important to notice, Alex, change of cars. It's not the DTM from the global class. It's the World Touring cars that handle very differently. How did they react to this very tight Hungaroring?
Yeah, well, let's. I'll take it through to you now. Actually, we'll have a look at some of the laps. This is the WTCR car, like you said, 300 horsepower, or on the front axle, front wheel drive, or the weights at the front as well. So you have very severe front tire wear, and that makes it very tricky indeed. We're watching Axel here as he goes through the second sector of the lap. And it's very interesting indeed. I'll talk you through this lap at the moment. Would you just talk you through this and through qualifying? Maybe you get a glass of water, mate, because we've been talking a really, really long time. But Axel Mariano going through sector 2, looking very nice and clean. So these front-wheel drive cars, you've got to really watch the understeer. They tend to set them up with a lot of oversteer, because as the front tires wear out, you need the oversteer in the first few laps to try and give those front tires a bit of a rest and if you can give them a bit of a rest, then you have some front tires towards the end of the race. Whereas if you have a perfectly balanced car at the beginning of the race, you have too much understeer at the end of the race, and you become a sitting duck. So we are in the copper class now. If you're new to ERGP, there are 4 classes: gold, silver, bronze, and copper. Copper's more for the beginner drivers. Whoa! As Axel goes 54.4, that's a good lap time, puts him in P3 at the moment. Yeah, so the copper class is more for the beginners, the guys who are just started, or maybe who have been driving sims for a while. There are a couple of drivers who've been doing it for a little bit longer, but they sim once in a blue moon. They don't have the time to put into practice. So then they come and do the copper class, which is a little bit more easy to drive and stuff. So yeah, it does make it quite interesting indeed. But for now, I'm just going to introduce one of our co-commentators, Ammo, and welcome back to ERGP.
Alex, thanks for the warm welcome as usual. Yeah, great to be back here again to watch what's possibly one of the best sim racing competitions in Asia, we can safely say.
Definitely so. We've seen some great racing, and the production obviously has all been done from our houses and stuff. So really good to see the sort of quality you can learn in a short time. I've really enjoyed trying to put on these races ourselves and to do it in a cheap way. And it's great to see such great drivers come in. The community's really embraced it. Having all the different levels of cars racing has been fantastic. As we watch Axel, why don't you take us through this lap, Ammo?
Alright, so, well actually he's towards the end of the lap, so we're gonna have to wait until he comes by around the start-finish light the next time. So, yeah, a great circuit. We've only been to the Hungaroring for the last 30 years, since it was first opened in 1986 for F1 at least, where Bernie tried to get F1 to the Eastern Bloc. He did so, but he tried to get it into Budapest first before they agreed on building an actual street circuit. So yeah, now we get to the actual qualifying lap. This is Axel Mariano, who did very well last time out in Red Bull Ring, and he'll be looking to go one better this time here.
Yeah, so I'm just going to follow Zurio Simodabila, actually, the championship leader, as we watch him come into turn 1. We'll try and ride on board with him. He's watching from the rearview mirror, from the chase cam, as they like to say. So on the chase cam here, out of turn 1, now turn 2, going downhill as they go through here, you always get a little bit of understeer through this corner. It's very easy to overcook it. Great overtaking opportunities, so you've got people coming down the inside and going around the outside. Through turn 3 now, should be full throttle. I think it is full throttle without a lift. Now this straight here, this is a longish straight. You'd think you could overtake, but you can't, because this turn 4 is really fast. You hardly brake for it. Whoa, look at Zurio sliding through there with loads of oversteer. Very aggressive indeed. Will he abort the lap? No, he's carrying on with the lap as he goes through turn 5. Turn 6 and 7 is a chicane, really tight chicane, slowest corner on the track. You can go down the inside of people. We have seen a lot of drivers overtake through there. Now through, turn 9 and 10, I believe. 8 and 9, sorry. Which then, of course, leads into turn 10. You need a good rhythm through here. You just got to get full, because the corners just blend into one inch into another, and you can't upset your rhythm as you go from side to side, as you try and maximize the line and carry the speed and get on the throttle nice and early. Now, turn 12. Very easy to overcook it here, understeer wide and lose a lot of time. Zurio didn't quite hug the apex as I think he would have liked to, but he's looking okay for now. He's still purple as he goes through the penultimate corner, turn 13. Short straight uphill now to turn 14. It's another long hairpin. You're in this corner forever. Carry the minimum. Take that late apex. Get on the power early. Get a good exit across the start-finish line. And that should be good enough for pole position for now.
Thanks, Kokil. Now back in the commentary box, I'll be joined by Amo Hazik. We saw his lovely face, model-like features, but Zuriel Sumadabili is the man who is modelling this your World Touring car into pole position at the moment. We've still got 2 minutes left on qualification. Let's have a look at Alan Escotto, third in the overall championship standings at the moment. He is in P5 on the grid. Amo, you're back on board. Alan Escotto, he hasn't got a race win to his name as yet, but he's certainly quick enough to suggest he can get one.
Yeah, he's been very consistent. In fact, from Nürburgring onwards, from race 2, he was on the podium. He was third in qualifying for the Silverstone race before he got 2 podiums there. And last time out at the Red Bull Ring, he was a bit unlucky not to get any good leeway against the championship leaders. But so far, yeah, he's been in thereabout. This might be his run if he could keep it together.
154.7. He was fastest going through sector 1. He does have time to complete this lap. A 155 is where we are looking at. So Alan Escotto is still looking quick. Right then, sector 2. Where are we now? Alan Escotto looking good. Gets the right line going through, and he looks like he's driving well. That's good use of the road.
Yep. Going a bit wide there into the second sector, coming to the end of the second sector. We're into the third sector now. This is where it's crucial because this is where a lot of turns come in. Cars with good handling like the Honda here will probably gain an advantage as he now comes to the second to last corner. It's a long left-hander before they come back to another long right-hander, which takes him back to the start-finish line. Really is a picturesque circuit here at the Hungaroring.
Certainly is, but Alan Escotto will be disappointed with his sector 2 as he comes over the start-finish line. 154, well, 153.6 is where he was after. Tell you what, he's going to drop down into P7. And that pesky F-mode test from Japan has got himself up into P5. But it's Summer Debilia and Edward Wong from Malaysia on pole, knocking Zarif Haziq off the front row of the grid. So that is a problem for Zarif. Not, mind you, it's a 15-minute race. Just so long as he doesn't have a nightmare start, Zarif won't be too disappointed with P3.
Well, he won't be too disappointed in the grand scheme of things. He only lost out 2 points in the championship, but it's 2 more points overall that he needs to make up in the race. So he has to hope that Sumidabia will actually make a horrible race. Will have a horrible race so that he'll gain points against him.
It is 6 rounds of racing that we've got in this Copper edition. We are on round 4 now. You're then allowed to throw one of the rounds away. So it'll be Sumidabia and Wong on the front row. Zarif Haziq, Janelli Cruz on the second row. Test on the third row of the grid. This is eRacing GP Global Edition. It's the Copper Class round 4 of 6 at the Hungaroring Grand Prix. I'm Des Corkle alongside me. Amo Haziq, who is known in the e-racing world. Get you out on the track once again in this series before too long. Thoughts of the circuit at the Hungaroring for the sim races, Amo?
Well, actually, in terms of overtaking, we might say it's a bit difficult, but we saw that it could be done in DTM. Especially turn 1, we can say that it's quite a hot spot, we can safely say. A lot of drivers will try to attempt overtaking here, even in the TCR cars. In the chicanes, it's possible, and then to the last sector, the last 2 corners, that's a possible overtaking maneuver. The race might be good because the cars are going to follow each other very closely.
Red lights are flashing. When they go off, we'll be underway, and Zuriel Sumidabia gets off to a sumptuous start. Zarif Haziq goes past Edward Wong, and Janelli Cruz goes past Edward Wong. But Sumidabia, I think everyone behind him was hoping that Zuriel would have a problematic start. That is actually a picture-perfect start.
Beautiful getaway. He got the launch nicely, and the fact that he got the jump on Wong, who was definitely sleeping at the start. He is now dropping back to third. He's gonna be into fourth. If Escotto comes to the inside, does he get him? He's alongside. Side by side here coming to turn 3. And does he get him? Yes, he does. Escotto up to third, and Wong from second. He's dropped to fourth. A slight touch there. That's common in touring cars here because of the tight nature of the circuit. But everybody else is still in the race.
Young Axel Mariano Knockam has got himself up into P5. Arjuna Santa and Test. And then our mate Shiri Murugan, who can put it about a little bit. Keep an eye out on Shri. Let's see if he's learnt his lessons from earlier on in the season when he was a bit of a naughty boy. But it's Zuriel Sumidabia who is leading the way in the Hyundai, and already Amo has pulled a 1 second lead over Zarif Haziq.
Yeah, but mind you, unlike the DTM, there's no DRS here, so it's good old-fashioned overtaking. It has to be done. And the fact that he's in a car that has performed well here in the past, 2018-19, we saw the Hyundai win twice in both race 3 in the hands of Gabriele Tarquini. So he's in a good car against the alpha of Zarif Haziq, who has not won here in real life at least. So he's got his work cut out for him trying to catch this guy.
Alan Escotto looks down of the inside of Zarif Haziq. We're focusing on the front 3 just for now. Now here's an intriguing little battle. Peter and Regal de Troyes, cars in P13 and 14 respectively. There is Peter in the yellow livery. Right behind him, it's a family affair. This will be a battle for P13. We'll keep an eye on that. We'll also keep an eye on Hendra Adeputra, who has been fast in previous races without picking up many points. He's got himself into P11. Right at the very end, we've got Adam Kondrolochis, who started off, I think, on the 9th row of the grid, and he's dropped down to 24th. Up at the front, though, Summer Debelia is racing away with this.
Yep, the Ginelli Cruz got drive-through penalty, so ignoring slowdown warnings. That might have been yellow flag out of somewhere, but I'm surprised to see the fact that there's nobody facing the wrong way at the first turn. So I'm surprised to see that he got that kind of warning for ignoring slow warnings.
JS Navarro says, Escotto, he wants him there. Nizar Risky, he says, Summa Debelia is just too good. Shiro Shita also on board, as is Kerwin Tan on Facebook. Please get your comments coming. Talk not only about Zuriel Summa Debelia, but the race that's going on behind him. Let's have a look at some of the names who we might... Now then, we'll give him a bit of attention. F-Mode Test. Get yourself a proper name, please, sir.
Well, judging by his profile picture, looks like he does have a face, but I'm not sure that's his real face. He'll probably have a real name somewhere there.
Amo Hazik in the commentary box as Axel Mariano, a young racer, finds himself in a battle here for P5. Edward Wong is in the blue.
Whoa.
Mariano goes sideways. Or is it F-Mode Test goes sideways? Knocked by Axel Mariano.
Well, Test there testing the limits of adhesion of his tires. Luckily he kept it together. He's still in the top 10. In fact, he just dropped position behind. He's still 6th, surprisingly, ahead of Arjuna Santa. So he well held there, mate. You actually would have lost positions there if you lost control.
Certainly did. He did hold on well. Let's have a look at the family affair. Peter Detroit leading Regal Detroit. Regal hasn't been able to get any close. I'm not sure which of those is the elder brother, but you'd think that if the younger brother wins, he'll get beaten up later on.
I think judging by where they are in the classes, I think Peter's the oldest. So that's just my assumption. I'm not gonna stretch my neck out too far. As Escotto, the third place, the man who's third in the championship, has gotten a drive-through penalty. Same warning as Ginelli. But
he's moved himself up into 2nd place. So that is a problem for Alan Escotto. Maybe he'll just try to maximize the possible lead before he takes that drive-through penalty. But Alan Escotto, we've spoken about many times, Amo, in the qualification, how he hasn't got himself a race victory. It looks like he's got another difficult day at the office.
Well, he's gonna take an L on this one, and the fact that that drive-through penalty will cost him dear. At least 30 seconds in these TCR cars, so he'll be right at the back of the grid if he's gonna serve it now. No matter how much he's gonna pull a gap against the other drivers, he'll be at the back. So he might be on for a race win in race 2, but race 1 he's gonna tank his points tally.
Raquel Tamayo is a big fan of Axel Mariano. Axel Mariano currently in P5 on the tail end of Edward Wong. Edward Wong looks back, and that's the shot he gets of Axel Mariano. Not the best shot of Axel. He was waving him an awful lot there. Mariano currently in P5, Wong ahead of him. Zarif Hazik, has he got closer to Alan Escotto? No, he hasn't.
And this battle is going to be intense for sure, because this will be a battle for 3rd place once Escotto actually serves his drive-through penalty. So a lot on the line here for these drivers from 4th all the way to 7th right now, because Arjuna Santos at the tail end of this. He's chasing up to this leading battle. Sorry, this 3rd place battle is now. There you go. Escotto's into the drive-through penalty, and Zarif Hazik's up to 2nd, Edward Wong 3rd, and the rest follow suit.
Okay, there is Escotto, and he will go, well, Edward Wong is in P3, so he might, there is no DRS, of course, in World Touring cars, so you've just got to get an old-fashioned slipstream, and it looks like he may well have done so there, Edward Wong. It didn't look like it was close enough. Was that just a braking of Zarif Hazik that was at fault there?
Yeah, he broke a bit late. In fact, he gave too much space to Edward. He tried to close the door on the way in, but unfortunately, Edward already got the line as Shri Murugan, another driver who's fallen victim to the drive-through penalty. So, whatever's going on here, a lot of drivers are actually falling foul of it.
Shokora Shri Murugan in trouble once again. Edward Wong right on the back of Zarif. This is a good little battle, and while they battle away, Zuriel Summa Debelia is really romping home. 4.8 seconds clear, and we're not even at the halfway point. F-Mode Test, and no, it's not a cool name, says Nizar Risky. F-Mode Test has got himself up into P5. Wong, though, is really pressurising Zarif as they come over the chicane. It's a good recovery from Edward Wong after that nightmare start that he had.
Yep, and he's right out to the back of Zarif, so he's going to regain his 2nd place that he started on this race, but he will not gain the maximum points of for going for the win. So second place is the best he can hope for right now, unless something dramatic happens to Sumodibia, which I don't see happening because he's in so much control at the front here.
We've got a couple of casualties. Yevon David, Janelli Cruz, and Azmi Arifin are all out of the race. Azmi rather spectacularly, very spectacular. Sumo Debilia is leading by spectacular margins. Tell you what, 5.5 seconds already. Mariano has got himself right on the tail of Edward Wong. This is the battle for P2, led by Zarif. The meat in the sandwich is Edward Wong. Axel Mariano right behind him.
And the fact that Azmi just now, he crashed that turn 4 by the looks of it. So luckily he got carted away. He's back into the pit, so he's out of the race. He's going to start at least second for race 2. But right now, battle for P2 is hotting really well.
Edward Wong in that distinctive blue. Behind them, Test Uncool is just ahead of Arjuna Santa. Sean Sayer, who had a podium at the very least, maybe a race win earlier on in the season in one of the reverse grid races. He's holding on to P8, trying to get on the tail end of Peter Detroit, and Regal Detroit is behind them. Sri Murugan, more problems for Sri. The only time we focus on Sri, he seems to be in the Naughty Boys book, as then he goes down. Kondrolochis goes past him. Also Daniel Rain Oi goes past him. Nightmare time for Sri Murugan.
Well, that's an absolute mare for Murugan. The fact that I think it wasn't even his own fault this time. It's just happened. The game happens to give him a penalty about ignoring the slow warning. He says, "Oh, Renault is out of the race." Looks like he got caught up by the penalties there, just as I said the word penalty. And yeah, Murugan. Probably this time it wasn't his own fault. He just got caught up by an errant penalty for some reason. Another
guy who's having problems, Alan Escotto. He had that drive-through penalty. He's come back into 13th place, but he's close on the tail of Kenneth Tay, and Jahan Kalam and Hendra Adeputra aren't too far ahead of them. So, somebody's really gone out there. That was Shazrul Iman, I think, who had a problem.
Yeah, probably lag, and the fact that he's back in the race. Just now we saw there was an errant bumper there. That might have been Azmi's bumper that was left when he was out of the race. So luckily it wasn't anybody's that actually hit there, and then they went out of the race.
Axel Mariano Nocom tries to push past Edward Wong into P3, but Wong has defended well. Good resilience being shown by Edward Wong. He holds on to P3. Wow, what's going on there? Axel Mariano into P3 or 4. F-Mode Test isn't too far away from them. Just behind. Great battle though between Axel Mariano and Edward Wong. Edward though will have the corner going into turn 1, but can Axel Mariano turn it to his advantage? He's got a good drive out. Axel goes through into P3 ahead of Edward Wong.
And the Filipinos are cheering there. They got their boys first and third. Unless Edward Wong's going to spoil that party. He tries to cut back on the inside. Holds on the outside goes Mariano, but Mariano I think's got him. He's got third place, and the fact that, look at the front. We had a 4-second lead from Sumudibia to Zarif Hazik. It's now back to 1 second. What happened to Zuriel?
It certainly is. That's a great... We'd almost forgotten about him because he was so far ahead. It was more than 4. He got up to 5.5 at one stage, Amo. And as you quite rightly say, that lead now, he looks back and he can see Zarif Hazik Jahari. You can only assume that he got a corner wrong and maybe had a slide. Lack of concentration, perhaps, when you're leading by such a long way.
Yep, might have been complacency. And the fact that he might have cut the corner somewhere to have a slow penalty or whatever. He had to back off, and now he's back within the clutches of Zarif Hazik. But unless Zarif can actually pick up the pace right now, because he is losing time to him in this lap. He's now 8/10. He lost 8/10 in this lap. He was just below a second when they crossed the line. So Hazik needs to pick up the pace.
Axel Mariano has been overtaken by Edward Wong once again. I'm enjoying this performance from Edward Wong. He started on the front row of the grid, had a mare of a start, dropped down to P5, has battled his way back up into P3. But you suspect with Edward this is not going to be the last of the overtaking, because Axel Mariano is right on his bumper.
Nope, he will not be giving up his position that easily, and the fact that if he gets overtaken, he will re-overtake that position, because that Link & Co car is so good on the straights and through the corners. Is quite easily the most all-rounded car in this entire field, and that's why he's right up there.
Well, he's not been overtaken. F-Mode Test has a look on the inside of Axel Mariano. Edward Wong, good straight line speed, is able to hold off the pressure. Axel goes very, very wide around corner number 1. We've only got... This race has flown by. We've only got 3 minutes left And Summa Debilia up at the front, as we're focusing on Edward, has got to be careful because that lead is down below 2 seconds for the first time.
Yep, and the fact that it's a bit of a yo-yo right now. It was below a second, then now it was up to 2 seconds, now it's below 2 seconds again. So it's swinging in favor, ebb and flow like the oceans between these two drivers, but Summa Debia's got this race under control at the moment. And speaking of between ebb and flow between drivers, third and fourth are equally just as close.
Indeed, Edward Wong is the man who is holding on from Axel Mariano, and the Japanese driver Test is just waiting for any kind of mistake. He's not quite close enough there, but Edward and Axel Mariano, they've been dueling so much you suspect that one of them might be in penalty trouble. Again, Axel Mariano working so hard to get close onto the back of Edward Wong. Can't quite do it, or does he? Goes on the inside. Edward goes wide and just comes back onto the racing line in time, but Axel Mariano drives through and Edward Wong slams the door shut once again.
Oh, he thought better of it, Axel. And pretty smart driving from both of them, except for the part where Wong just drove a little bit wide. They've been abusing the track limits here in this race. I don't know if we could decrease the points limit because everyone's going wide here, but nonetheless, good driving from both drivers to actually battle it out cleanly for third.
This time Axel Mariano does get through into P3. Wong is not in his rearview mirror because Wong has gone past him once again. Great racing between these two. Wong in the blue, Axel Mariano, the youngster, is very close, 0.1 of a second behind. F-Mode Test is still waiting. Test goes through on the inside. Test takes P4, little bit of contact, and Axel Mariano then tries to ease him back out into P5. Successfully does so. Edward Wong takes a 1 second advantage as a result.
Yeah, good on him there because he knows this is the last lap. This is the last possible opportunity to steal a podium here, so he had to go for it. But Axel's not going to give it up without a fight. He is really putting a lot of pressure on F-Mode Test to not lose that 4th place.
Japan's Test has just got himself into P4. Axel Mariano is there. Briefly will break away because Summa Debilia has recovered his composure. Zarif Hazik taking the grassy null line to try to get closer to Zuriel Summa Debilia. Won't work as they come into the chicane for the very last time. We will go back to P3. We'll join Zuriel for his victory, but Edward Wong, now he's in P3, will be very difficult to dislodge, I think, Amo.
Yep, the fact that this is the tight area of the circuit where not much overtaking is done anyway, so he's got this covered unless he gets a penalty in the last few corners because they've been cutting the corners quite a lot here. They're pushing the limits of how much penalties they can acquire during a race. As a Test defense into the inside against Mariano, so Mariano can overtake. Not as yet.
Summa Debilia has re-established a very healthy lead. Test in 4th. Edward Wong looks safe in 3rd. Axel Mariano will be kicking himself because he was chasing P3 and he might have to settle for P5 instead because Summa Debilia has won this one comfortably behind them. Zarif Hazik 2nd, Edward Wong 3rd, Test 4th, Axel Mariano 5th, Arjuna Santa will come home in 6th. Peter Detroit wins the Detroit battle and Sean Sayre ahead of Regal Detroit. But Zuriel Summa Debilia, well, he is the class act in this Copper Class edition. He will extend his lead at the top there with 25 points and I think the fastest lap time of 2:54.221.
Well, such a long lap here. Oh, sorry, 1:54. Well, it's such a long lap here that the race actually barely counted at the time. But yes, Summa Debilia, despite the slight scare in the middle of the race where he lost his lead of 5 seconds when he, out of our cameras, I think just cut the corner somewhere and he had to slow a bit. But luckily he held it together and it's another win for him in this championship where he is continuing to show his class. Also another win for Hyundai, virtually and in real life, at the Hungaroring.
Zarif Hazik in 2nd place, so the overall championship standings are followed. Edward Wong will elevate himself up better than Alan Escotto. Escotto did pick up points, but only pick up 3 points for 13th place after that drive-through penalty that was given. Sri Murugan, we've got to go on to Sri. He's been a naughty boy once again. He got a drive-through penalty out of the points once again. But it is all about Summa Debilia, and the Philippines have picked up another victory.
And also looking at Escotto, I'm seeing the live timing here. His damage is 100%, so he's been in the wars. It's a trying battle for him, but unfortunately, he only accrued 3 measly points in the grand scheme of things. A really bad to damage car and a really battering race for him. But nonetheless, he'll be ahead of these guys when the grid is reversed for race 2. He'll have a chance of scoring even a win if he could keep it together.
Yevin David, Azmi Arifin, Janelli Cruz and Daniel Rain Oy were all out of the race, so they will start at the front of the grid. And as we get final confirmation, Summer Debilia picks up 27 points, plus he was, I think, was he fastest? Yes, he was fastest. So a maximum 32 point haul for the championship leader, Zuriel Summer Debilia. Zarif Hazik Johari, second place, but drops a little bit further down in the overall championship standings. You're watching eRacing GP. It's the copper class, the amateurs in inverted commas, because it's still pretty good racing. We're racing around the Hungaroring. It's a 15-minute race. This second race is a reverse grid race, and on this particular circuit, Amo Hazik, very, very difficult to negotiate overtaking opportunities.
And we saw that the fact that F1 cars can overtake you in real life. What are the chances that DTM cars or WTCR cars overtake? So yeah, good point there, Des. They can overtake, but they could demonstrate just now that they could really battle.
They certainly can battle, as you say. A few cars were thrown out with being on the damage limits, and Alan Escotto was particularly damaged. Now then, Yevon David will be on pole position. He is on the right-hand side. The red lights go out, and we are underway. Yevon David gets off to a start, drags Azmi and Janelli Cruz along with him. Sri Murugan off to a decent start as well. Escotto trying to make up for the problems that he had, has got himself up into P6. It's a fine start from Alan Escotto, but Yevon David will lead the way. Ronaldo Julie skates past everybody, but leaves the braking far too wide. Yevon David it is who has the lead. He was on pole and he's capitalised on this, Amo Hazik.
Yep, there's once again, the Hyundai has the good start line potential, and they really used it. In the fact that you can see Hyundai's 1, 4, and 1, 3, 5, 6, and 9. They are swarming the top 10. They are really good off the line here.
All very civilised at the front as well. In the Gold Edition, we saw a lot of mayhem in the group races, but this has all been pretty civilised. Nobody's gone too far behind. Let's have a look at Axel Mariano, who was put out of a championship place or a podium place in the previous race. Now there's a problem. Ronaldo Julie is going backwards. He has spun out. We got a lovely bird's eye view of that, and Axel Mariano benefits by moving up into P17. Zarif Hazik has got himself up into P11 already. So Zarif looking to get points. And Zuriel Summer Debilia.
Whoa. Oh, that's a bit of rallycross there from one of the Hyundais. In fact, both the Hyundais. I think they touched each other and won the inside. I think that was Summer Debilia. So he was trying to go the inside of Callum, and he actually tapped Callum into a spit. So luckily, these front-wheel drive cars could hold it together.
And Summer Debilia just stays out of danger. Why risk too many things when you know you're quick enough? Then again, on that very comment, he's 3 abreast, takes the inside line, just eases his way through. Zuriel Summer Debilia gets ahead of Kalam, and Zarif Hazik is dragged alongside with him. We've rather ignored Yevon David. He's established himself with a healthy 2-second lead up at the front, Ammo.
Yep, and the fact that with that clean getaway, he managed to get himself a lot of air when the drivers were battling behind him. So this lead, again, it's an early breakaway, just like what Summer Debilia did at the first race. He just needs to keep it clean and put his head in so that he could nail that advantage.
Janelli Cruz is the man who's in second place, who had a difficult time in race number 1. Very often it can be to your advantage if you're having a nightmare time to just ease off in race 1, because you'll get the advantage in race 2. Behind them, Azmi Arifin has elbowed his way past Daniel Oy and Alan Escotto, and Azmi has got himself into P3. Escotto once again, Amo, is in the mix.
And this time he's got the luxury of being right at the front this early. He could gain positions against slower drivers who were right behind him. It's good for him in the championship running, but unfortunately it'll be less points on offer. But nonetheless, it's still points.
It is still points. That's exactly what you want. And he goes past Daniel Oy and is pushed sideways. That front-wheel drive really does come in handy on occasion, just when you lose the back end.
Oy, indeed. Oy.
Rallycross indeed.
Wow, that could drive the eye of the stewards, but they are giving each other no quarter here. No love lost between these drivers.
Azmi Arifin is leading those
Whoa.
two. Alan Escotto and Daniel Reynoy has got himself into P3. He's literally bullied his way through and then he's bullied out and Escotto goes through. Escotto now in P2. Wow, this is real stock car racing. And Sri Murugan, of course, is right in the midst of it.
This is pure touring car stuff. This is almost like watching British touring cars because contact in that particular series is allowable. World touring cars as well, I guess they allow it, but not to this extent. But wow, look at that. Murugan nearly tapped I think it was Reynoy Sumudabia into the wall.
Sumudabia has lost 3 places as a result. Escotto's in there. This is brilliant. Azmi Arifin right alongside Sri Murugan. Daniel Reynoy has got there. Murugan in the sky blue, forced off by Azmi Arifin. There's a little bit of history, it looks, between those two boys.
Yep. And do you believe in lightning striking twice? It has struck twice while Escotto, but just look at that. Another drive-through penalty. 2 in 2 races.
What has Alan Escotto done wrong? I tell you what, his star is not rising today. He'd done so well as well. He got himself out of trouble into P3 and then, as you quite rightly say, he's going to really suffer today as a result.
No point for both races. And the fact that I have a feeling that he didn't do anything wrong in those both instances. So whatever he's done to the game is punishing him.
Further down, Sumudabilia's got himself back up into P5 and it'll be P4. This is why he's the championship leader. So he can scrap out with the best of them. He can lead from the front. And what he's doing here is he's currently got himself into P5 once again.
And he's laughing all the way to the bank, knowing the fact that his championship rival, his chief championship rival, Zarif Hazik, is just behind him, behind a guy who's known to be a bit difficult to overtake anyway. So he's got a good haul of points. He could laugh all the way to the bank and increase his championship lead.
Let's have a look at Alan Escotto in P3 temporarily until he has his drive-through penalty. Daniel Oy, well, he's under pressure from Sumudabilia. Sumudabilia, a slight little tap saying, Oy, get out the way. I'm the championship leader. Show some respect. And Daniel Oy does exactly that. And then gives him a knockback.
You have a bit of a love tap between those two. And the fact that Sumudabilia just effortlessly passed both of them. He just, walks right into a China shop and took the very first China he could find.
In the front, though, we've got a race now because Janelli Cruz has closed on the back of Yevon David. And the young Sri Lankan went a bit wide there and Janelli might get a tow through here. We've still got more than half the race to go, so still a ton can still happen. But Janelli Cruz, I think, would like to get out in front because we have seen in previous races the boy can be quick.
Boy can be quick, just like his brother. He showed, he could show that he win races. He will try to show that the family can both win races here today. But he's against a guy who's on a bit of a vendetta here. Janelli Cruz was one of 3 drivers that got the drive-through penalty in the first race. He will want to avenge that and get a win right here to make his weekend better.
Plus, that battle for P1 is some 9 seconds ahead of Zoriel Sumudabilia, who's already established a 1.5 second gap over Alan Escotto. Murugan is having another scrap. I'm sure he comes here for the physical contact, Sri Murugan. Zarif Hazik and Shazwal Iman, they will find Murugan not easy to get past. They go through the chicane, particularly on this second half of the Hungaroring circuit. Murugan, a difficult target for Zarif to knock past.
And just like his name, his last syllable is Murugandov. You shall not pass, he would probably say. But yeah, this guy is proving very tricky to pass, and the fact that in front of him is Escotto, who's not served his penalty yet. So this could be potentially a fight for 4th. Not a podium, but 4th place will do these guys wonders.
Need to go back to the very front. Sorry, Janelli Cruz is making a move. Janelli, currently we're on board with him. He was close there coming into the start-finish line. This will go into lap number 5. We are just beyond halfway. Has he got enough for tow? Maybe not quite close enough. 5 or 6 car lengths down. And so Yevon David, who has been in the lead since the very start, is still being able to hold on beyond halfway. Close the gate there on Janelli Cruz, but the pressure will eventually tell on a race leader, Amo. Is that how it works?
Actually, yeah, that is true, Des. The fact that if you have a guy who's just right behind you like a rash for such a long period of time, it does take away your concentration a bit. But if his nerves are pretty much made of steel, and he could hold it together, his ice cool veins, he could just focus on the race and not even bother that there's a guy right behind him. So right now, what he's doing here is soaking up a lot of pressure, and he's having very ice cool veins.
I suppose what you've got to do is just look forward, know that there's going to be pressure on you, and just close the door, take the correct racing line. Behind them, Summa Debilia, I said that lead was 8.8 seconds. It's now down to 6 seconds. Summa Debilia couldn't win from here, could he? 6 minutes to go, 6 seconds to make up. Feasible?
I think yes, because a second a lap, and the fact that these two are squabbling, he could we've been right behind him by the start of the last lap probably. So watch this space.
Janelli Cruz is still trying to get past Yevon David. Yevon again is very, very calm in the way that he's approaching this defensive work. Summa Debilia is inside 6 seconds. Alan Escotto has not yet taken his drive-through penalty. Sri Murugan, always fun with Sri. He's under pressure from Shazwal Iman. Zarif Hazik is under pressure from Peter Dutoit. The best of the Vietnamese is in P8. Zarif tries to barge through Shazwal, and Zarif can't quite get there. Frustrating day for Zarif Hazik.
And the fact that he got overtaken by Iman, so again, a bad day in the office for him in the grand scheme of things in the championship, where Summa Debilia is up in the podium. He has not had a good race weekend apart from third in the first race.
You mentioned Summa Debilia. The gap is now inside 5 seconds. It's only Tarmac that he can see ahead of him, but he will know that Janelli Cruz is not too far away. Summa Debilia, that's P3. Yevon David. So will these two be aware, Amo? Are you aware of how far behind Summa Debilia is? The fact he's closing on you?
For Yevon, I think he can see, because despite him being the leader, he can actually still see at the top of the bar in the HUD, the heads-up display, of where the gaps are, at least up to the first 5 places. And he could probably see that Summa Debilia is closing really rapidly. So he's going to have to pick up the pace and not squabble with Cruz. Likewise, Cruz might not want to squabble with David, because he doesn't want Summa Debilia to catch up. But the temptation is like a temptress giving you really fine wine. He just wants to get that race win. The low-hanging fruit is right in front of him.
Having been rather insulting to Sri Murugan, I should apologise. He's really driving rather nicely into P4. Shazwal Iman and Zarif Hazik. Zarif has gone backwards, clearly made a mistake, and Kenneth Wong is there. So Sri is now under pressure from Shazwal Iman as they go through the chicane, but Sri has driven probably his most mature race that we've seen from him. He's a newcomer, and he's taken personal lessons on board from Alex Young, who gave him a bit of a rollicking, but it looks like he's taking heed of those lessons.
Yep, he's definitely taken that into account. He's driving really, really well. He's not done any of the crazy defending like we saw in Silverstone. And if I look at that, just blocks one time, lets Shazwal on the outside. Will he fight back? Yes, he can, because he knows that he's got the inside here. But unfortunately, Shazwal's on the inside as well. He budges him out of the way, but no theatrics. It's still pretty much clean racing. Look at that! Good driving there from Murugan. He tries to cut back on the inside, but Shazwal has the line, and unfortunately he has to concede 4th place.
That's the Moru that we know and love. Yevon David is still leading the way though. 0.6 of a second. Hey, Summa Debilia inside 4 seconds now, but time is running out. It's a 4.4 second lead. Time though surely running out. 3 minutes remaining, which is what, two more laps. It surely can't pick up 4 seconds in 2 laps.
And we're looking at some comments here from Facebook, especially. Rizky Rama said that this is classic copper racing. Yes, it is, because the drivers are putting hell to leather in trying to get the best possible positions, even at the start. And we got one more here from Hendra Adiputra, who's one of the drivers who was in the race. He got disconnected, so unfortunate for him, no points for this round either.
Zarif Hazik looking to get the better of Sri Murugan. Sri lost out to Shazwal Iman, is able to hold off. Good defending. He's becoming a bit of a cult hero, is young Sri, as he holds off Zarif Hazik. Zarif is saying, a Malaysian fella, let me get by, let me compete against Summa Debilia. Sri says, not on your life.
Yeah, indeed. And the fact that he's probably sick of seeing the back of that Leopard Audi. He's been seeing it the whole race. Oh, Zarif pushes Sri out of the way. So Sri, and he's out of the race. Zarif is out of the race.
Zarif, too many contact points, and so Sri Murugan, for once, is the good guy.
Well, how the tables have turned. it's a desperate weekend for Zarev, who has lost he was hemorrhaging points right from the word goes. We saw a Lincoln car spin right in front of the camera, 2 cars in front of the back. I was about to say, Zarev lost points even from qualifying. He's going to lose even more here in the second race.
Axel Mariano is another who's spun out. So Axel Mariano has gone right the way down, back up to the front, where the points really count. Yevon David looking to pick up 15 points. This will be a remarkable start to finish victory if he's able to hold on, because he has been under genuine pressure from Gianelli Cruz and aware that Summer Debele is closing in on him. That gap for the first time got inside 3 seconds just before that corner. But Yevon David, for a youngster, Yevon David rather than Yevon David, has been able to hold off. Terrific racing.
And James Russell, his team boss for Stratos, might be smiling ear to ear right now, looking at how well his young charge is doing here. This has been a very, very mature race from one of the David brothers. He's shown that he could deal with the pressure, and as I said earlier, he's got nerves of steel right at the moment. But can he hold it together to the end of the race? This is the final lap.
Okay.
This is where the results will come in.
Okay, Harris, it is chaotic argy-bargy. Happy? Okay, let's see where we go. Yevon David is still leading, 30 seconds on the race. Gianelli Cruz second, Summer Debele, Shazrul and Sri Murugan completing the top 5. The battle is on though. Gianelli Cruz, well, we're coming towards the end of the circuit. Yes, it will be the last lap. This is a sprint for the line, Ammo. The sprint for the line is on, and Yevon David may well be able to hold off Gianelli. Gianelli will have a final little look as they come in towards the home straight. You can see the main grandstand. Gianelli will have to do something absolutely heroic as he comes around the right-hand corner. Good defending from Yevon David. Surely no opportunity now.
No way back here. The last 2 corners are not primary overtaking spots, so Yevon David has got this in the bag. He has definitely held on to it so well from start to finish.
Yevon David led from the front. He was on pole position on the front row, and he leads Gianelli Cruz over the line for a wonderful victory for the youngster. Zoriel Summer Debele was only 1.7 seconds behind him, P3. Shazrul Iman taking P4. Behind him, Sri Murugan. Best result of the season for the young Malaysian. He's been able to hold off the Hyundai of Kenneth Wong. Arjuna Santa and F-Mode Test completing the top 8. There will be 15 finishers, but a really mature performance from a young lad, Yevon David, in the Hyundai.
And it's, like an old head on young shoulders. He's shown here. He's probably come of age right now, and he'll try to put this together for a very good season to come for sure. With only 2 rounds left, this is probably his chance to just make a break for it.
And Summer Debele, will just have a look at him. That's really good. He had to work right the way from the very back. Got caught up in a little bit of traffic. Wasn't able to get close enough, but even then he was inside 2 seconds. Maybe another couple of laps. Another 5 minutes, and you would really have put money on Zoriel Summer Debele making it a race double.
I think I can even stretch my neck out further and say that he would have actually gotten him within that lap, because those two might have been squabbling if they saw a third car coming. But nonetheless, it is a good weekend for Summer Debele. He won the first race, he got pole, he got the fastest lap I think for this one as well, and the first race. He is extending his championship lead like crazy. This is a really good weekend for him.
It is. Chris Chu will pick himself up in 10th place, the Singaporean, ahead of fellow Singaporean Sean Say and Adrian Ferguson and Kenneth Tay. Quick mention to them. We didn't mention them a lot, if at all, in the race itself. Jan Kalam and Reynaldo Julie were pushed a little bit further down. But it is all about Yevon David. But the championship, 4 rounds in, is all about Zoriel Summer Debele. And what a nightmare time it was for Johari, the second place Malaysian. Alex Young is back alongside us on the line as we get the final confirmation. The fastest lap indeed goes to Summer Debele. So that just emphasises what a terrific weekend he has. There are still 2 rounds to go in this championship, but it's difficult to see, barring a catastrophe, anyone other than Zoriel Summer Debele winning this copper class.
Wow, I tell you what, Des, Summer Debele is a deserved championship winner, but he hasn't had he hasn't been dominating. He's just been super consistent, getting the points. But today, you know, this is where he's really showing that he deserves to be leading that championship. Nice race win in round 1, third in race 2, fastest laps. You know, looking very good. This will be the point where if he does win the championship, of course, it's not over yet. If he does win it, this will be where we'll look back and say this is where he cemented it, really.
Nightmare weekends for Zarif Hazik and Alan Escotto. Poor old Escotto, 2 drive-through penalties once. Okay, that's careless. Twice is, that's unforgivable.
Yeah, we're seeing some of the drivers doing a little bit of, what are you saying? They're getting back at people. They're getting knocked. And you can see him go, I got knocked and I'm going to knock someone else back. I'm going to knock someone else back. And they just escalate. And you rack up the incident points if you keep doing that. And then you end up getting disqualified. I saw Roland Uy. He got mad at someone. I can't remember who he was racing. But he kept knocking into him from back. And I thought, well, you're going to get in trouble for that later on. And he did. I think Oscotto also was doing it with someone. So, yeah, you know, if I've talked before with other drivers and fathers of drivers about this. It becomes a bit of a law of the jungle. You got to give each other respect. If someone does something really bad to you, then sometimes it's worth a penalty to knock him off, put him in the wall, because then you learn not to do it again. Because that's sometimes the only way to do it. That tends to happen, especially when stewarding is bad or not strong enough. We are trying to be strong with the stewarding, and we actually, for this race, we actually had a driver that was banned, and 3 of them with qualifying bans as well. So please allow due process. If the penalties are there, if you feel if something has been done badly to you, send in your protest and we'll take action, especially if we agree. But if you're going to do it on track, do it properly or don't do it at all, because you just rack up the incident points and at the end of the day you get disqualified.
You're watching the eRacing GP. You've just seen the Copper Class Edition. Once again, we will have on our website and on Facebook the overall championship standings. A great weekend for Zero Summer Debilia. The racing this weekend isn't over though. Tomorrow we look at the bronze and the silver class, and then we see if Alif Hamilton can be clawed in just a little bit closer by an all-star cast in the gold final. From Alex Young, myself, Des Corkill.
Des, one thing. Just been told by the stewards that Alif actually has a 5-second penalty for that race 1, where he moved in under the braking in the last lap while trying to defend from Mikko Nassi. So that 5-second penalty, I think, drops him down to P4. So while he still had a good day today, I think he didn't have the perfect day that he had hoped.
Okay, so there is hope for the others, but Alif will still be the target. From Alex and myself, Des Corkill, and the team who put this on behind the scenes. Hope you're enjoying our global edition of the eRacing GP. And we're back on your screens, 1:45 tomorrow. We have got 5 races coming your way: bronze, silver, and gold.